Cool. You guys ready for this? This is gonna be good stuff. All right, one more time. If you could just let me know. I just clicked a whole bunch of buttons. I gotta just make sure you guys can hear me still. You guys good? Okay, cool. I should be using that as like a tactic to warm you up to put in a credit card number or something. Alrighty. Hey guys, this is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how I built this stuff, and I think you're gonna like it a lot. This has been I've built a lot of membership sites, a ton of them, and there definitely is an art to it. I don't think this is going to be like a 6-hour thing like the last webinar funnel build was, but there is a lot to be said about membership sites and how you put them together. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Stu McLaren, but we got to go do some cool training with him. Russell and I got on the phone with him. We were listening to him, and it was awesome. Not just from Tribe. I mean, we just literally with him himself. And he was teaching us a lot of cool stuff. And he was like, hey, look, the number one reason anybody quits any membership area is because there's a ton of overwhelm. And I don't know how many guys think there's a lot in the Secrets Masterclass, but overwhelm is definitely it's certainly a risk here with this, and probably with everything else. Sam, yeah, you won't see me. I'm gonna take my face out of it because I have limited screen space right here, and I want to be able to keep building. So, anyway, yeah, he's also the guy who runs World Tea Trade. Anyway, so how do we build membership sites that include everything we sold on the stack? Overwhelm comes from what you're not doing. Yes, but there's a buttload of stuff in this. You know what I mean? So, and we're adding stuff all the time. I mean, this is another section that we're adding in right here. All right, so how do we build all of this stuff and deliver what we say we're going to without freaking people out? You know what I mean? And so that's really what I'm going to teach you. I want to show you how I do all this stuff. There's obviously a little bit of custom code involved with this, but good news for you, I'm not a coder. So how did I pull it off? How can someone even like me pull this off? And I'm going to show you how I do it. And so anyway, there's a lot of stuff in this, and yeah, there's a lot of little tricks, a lot of little sneak things I put in here. I don't like everything auto-opened when there's tons of stuff on the side, so I have it auto-open only a few sections, or I'll have it, I have this cool scroll feature on here you guys have all seen. Stuff that makes it easier to consume, right, along the whole way. So anyways, that's what we're going to talk about. And what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to pull out here we go. So this is a stack slide. So we're going to start here with this, okay? How do we get all this stuff on here, right? There's the master class. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of tools. You can put those in the members area. You can put them not in the members area. Different tangibles, the different bonuses themselves, right? What we're basically creating is we're creating a stack slide. So first thing I'm going to do is the same thing as before. I'm going to pull out a paintbrush right here, and I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to draw this out real quick together. I didn't draw one previously before this because it's not that intense as the last one. So. Anyway, so we're going to say that this is the login page, and we'll say that this is the members area. And inside the access page here, we obviously need a way for them to go in and log in and create a login. So we'll go through that. So let's put a little thing here: create a login. Boom. And this is obviously the access page. You know, it's an access page type, so we'll put it down there. And this is overall, we'll call this the login page. Hopefully this makes sense as I keep moving forward. This is what the name of it, and this is the actual page type here across the bottom. And then over here on the top, it's actual members area. And down here, the same thing too. Let's see, access page. Actually, the actual page type itself is also called members area, so we'll just leave it there. That access page or members access, and then members area page. And then inside the members area, there's a few things that we want to put in there. One of the issues that we started having when we started creating these members areas is that, holy cow, there's so much content. How do I present this in a way that does not overwhelm people who get inside of it and ultimately make them quit? You know, obviously funnel building and sales. I mean, buy low, sell high, but obviously there's more to it than that, you know what I mean? So we got to be able to somehow show that data and show all the things that we're trying to give you guys without overwhelming you. So I always, in the top left here, I always do. And I'm just kind of going briefly over the top, then we're actually going to go through and we're going to do this whole thing. I'm going to show you where Secrets Masterclass came from. I actually went and I found the original files of Russell and I brainstorming this very course. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you what we went through after that and how we put it all in Excel and laid it all out. And then after that, I'm going to show you how I started building it and tweaks I made and changes I made and why. And then I'm going to show you how to monetize your member sites even after you've sold the course, which is really cool. You guys excited for that? Should I trial close you? Is this awesome? You guys excited for that? Is this going to change your life? This is going to be fun stuff. So, anyway, so I'm going to show you, we're going to go through, we're actually going to build the, you guys like all those, here's my credit card. Awesome. So I'm going to show you how to put all those things together. And we'll actually build it, we'll design it, we'll put it all together. I mean, there's a lot that goes into these. Obviously, more is going into this members area, of course, than an actual webinar page itself. So, I don't know how long this will take. We'll take as long as we need to. I just got to make sure that all your questions get answered. So, so what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go through and I'm going to build everything how I normally do it. I'm going to show you all the things that I just said I would. And then at the end, I'm going to go through and answer your questions because I guarantee a lot of your questions will get answered as I build this. So so I always put just so you guys know, I'm just making our what do you call it? It's like our template. So this is like the masterclass material, and then down here we'll put usually we'll have bonuses underneath, but I want them to look a little bit differently, so I'll show you how to do that as well. And then down in the bottom corner, I also usually put some kind of sticky OTO, which is awesome, inside the members area, which is crazy cool. I don't see many people doing that yet. So I'll show you how I do that too. And then obviously over here on the side, we have the actual content itself. So, alrighty. All right, cool. Well, let's dive into it. I'm trying to think of the place to start. You know what? Let's go through it and let's start talking about how we actually did it for the actual Expert Secrets Masterclass itself. I'm sorry, Secrets Masterclass. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of masterclasses. All right. Here we go. This is it, you guys. So what happened was Russell right now, as I'm recording this right now, as we're on this call, he is talking and coaching 10 Inner Circle members for the entire day. And we started noticing, it's probably about 5, 6, 7 months after I started working here, I started noticing, because I literally sat right behind him. You know, this is our new office, but in our old office, it was the equivalent of me right there at that desk, the equivalent of that. And I turned around one day, I was like, that's so cool. It's awesome to sit here next to you, you know. And obviously, I sometimes I would just sit there and take notes. I would, but I was just listening to what he's doing, how he's saying it, what he's doing. You know, it was really, really, insane opportunity. I turned around, and after he had been doing it for, literally 8 straight hours one day, I was like, dude, you sound a little bit like you're saying the same things over and over again, and he's like, no, I am. And what's funny is it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, it's the same questions that you have to answer. It doesn't matter if you're e-commerce, if you're physical products, if you're B2B, you're digital, you're MLM, you're whatever it is. That's always the same businesses or same questions that the business has to answer. Retail, brick and mortar, e-com. Anyway, and so we decided. I was like, and he was exhausted. And he had been doing these calls. He calls them decade in a day. When you join Inner Circle, that's the first call that you have with him called you compress a decade's worth of time into a day. So he calls it decade in a day. And he had been doing them like crazy. And he turns around and he's like, dude, there's got to be a way we can He's like, he goes, Steven, you've read my book more than I have, and you've done this stuff just probably about more than anyone else also. And so what if you're the coach and we put together a program where they go through an event with you in order to apply to the Inner Circle? And I was like, sweet, that's awesome. And that's how this came about, you guys. That's why the Secrets Masterclass was created. The stuff you're getting right now in the Secrets Masterclass is the same material that every Inner Circle member has been going through and continues to go through over and over and over again. The reason we need you to go through this stuff as a base is because Russell is, the stuff that you're going through right now, it's the foundation, right? But eventually, a NASCAR driver doesn't want to drive a little Pinto anymore. You know what I mean? He's a NASCAR driver. He wants to go. He wants to run fast. He wants to do all the things that he's really, really fantastic at. So, what he does is insane. But if you're only on the base level stuff, he can't serve you at his highest level, and it's not as fulfilling for him. And so the reason this whole thing was created was for that. So there's a real need, and we decided to call it 2 Comma Club Coaching, this whole program. And as part of that, you go through this Secrets Masterclass to actually get the basics of this down and start, once you figure out your what and your how, that's really when you're able to graduate into Inner Circle. I'm not pitching Inner Circle. I'm just letting you guys know how the thought process of where this all came from. Anyway, so this is what we did, is we decided to go through and take all the content of the books, all the content of pretty much everything. I went through all of his videos for the last 10 years, all of his events, everything, and I indexed second by second. It took 3 months for me to do that. Second by second, everything that he was talking about, all the pieces, where they were, and then I started lacing them together. Okay, in order to know this, you got to know this. In order for you to be at a spot where you can do the moral obligation part, which is the actual webinar part, you should really be figuring out how you're actually going to speak to them afterwards. You got to find your voice. Let's talk about that earlier. You should learn a little bit more about what funnels are, so that you know how to actually deliver the creating belief part, and actually do the actual webinar, which is section 6. In order for you to actually, let's start with the intro so it sets the stage, but you also really need to, these first 2 sections right here are really about creating foundation, both number 1 with your message, and then number 2 with the actual funnels and the way you actually deliver it. So, we started lacing this thing together, and it was like, write, erase, writing, erasing, writing, erasing, writing, erasing, you know what I mean? And it took a long time. It took a very long time. And I'm saying this stuff to you right now so you know that what we go through is the same thing that you guys go through. Real quick before I keep going here, yes, this is going to be recorded. It is being recorded right now. Yes, you guys will get the share funnel. Anyway, it's the same stuff that you guys are going through right now. So if you're like, oh, it looks like Steve and Russell have got this down so easy. It's like, no, we've just done it a lot. And we have assets already created, and we're not creating an opportunity switch. We're creating opportunity stacks. So that is a little bit easier. But it's the same questions you guys go through. We're not. It's not like, hey, let's tell them this and really do this. It's not any kind of bait and switch. It's not anything else. Which is really exciting for you guys. It's super awesome. We were here till Russell hasn't left the office before 2 a.m. every single day this week. I've been here till about we were till midnight last night. There's so much stuff going on right now. It's amazing. But I just want you to see. I'm taking a break right now. He's taking a break right now to stop and show and serve and deliver what we are doing and why it's working to you guys. So I hope that what I'm going to show you in this members area is that you take it from a standpoint that we are at, which is pretty experienced in this area, obviously. So obviously I'll give you these things. Know that when I put a little piece of custom code in there, like I said before, when I do something that's custom here or there, all I'm doing is extending the functionality of ClickFunnels, but it honestly could work without it. And you don't need to be a coder. You don't need to be anything else. If there's something that seems broken or whatever, I'm not support, so I can't help you with that. But support is willing to help with those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, a lot of the stuff that I'm pulling will be from Funnel University, and CF Pro Tools scripts. A lot of things that I'm gonna pull. Anyway, so I hope that you guys are excited for this and what I'm about to show here, because this is fantastic stuff. By the way, this is it's going quick. This is the new. I'm rebuilding the entire Funnel Hacks. It's really cool. I've built so many membership sites, you guys. It's insane. Oh man. Anyway. I've built so many. This is the new Funnel Hacks. This webinar, when we actually figure out the what and the how, this is what launched ClickFunnels and got it going. This has made $40 million the first 2 years. We'll be on track to almost, if we don't do anything different, we'll be at 70 million by the end of this year, but we're trying to get it to 100. So anyway, it worked. It's same process. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Same process. There's nothing different. We had to answer all the hard questions. By the way, this is a black whiteboard, so that's why it reflects so hard. Is traffic hacks being removed? No, not at all. No. Are the recordings available to us? If so, where? So I've said this several times. It is in the bonus section called Live Funnel Builds. It's all right here. Anyway, so this is. Anyway, so this is that's where it started. Okay, and this is how I suggest that you start. Okay, this is how we do it. We will go to a whiteboard. And we sit there. We did this last night. We do this all the time. Okay, we sit in front of a whiteboard, and we sit there, we go, what would make the sexiest, coolest offer on the planet, right? And I said this a lot in the Q&As as well, but we literally right there and we say, okay, what would be awesome? Okay, number one, and we get into a very creative mindset. We get into a very, we don't poo-poo on each other's ideas. We don't put them down. We don't say, hey, that's a stupid idea. That's a stupid idea. As ideas flow and you get into that state, oh my gosh, that is like pure awesome. It is the reason I love working here, because you sit there and you're around these brilliant minds. I know that, who are responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in the marketplace and you sit there and people just start tossing stuff out on the board. We could do this, and some of it's ridiculous, Some of it's absolutely crazy. Hey, we're gonna build their whole funnel for them and run it for them for a straight year. Okay, we're gonna do this. Hey, we're gonna do this, and we start and we make a big list. It's not like we're just trying to fill. I know I've said before, right here. Where is it? I know I've said before, the stack slide is the template for how to create an awesome offer. This is what we use. The stack slide is not just for webinars. This is how to make a blue ocean opportunity, a new opportunity in any market, any area, not just webinars, not just anything else, any sales, anything. I'm going to go speak in another place on stage here soon. I'm really pumped about it. Guess what I'm going to talk about? Guess I'm going to put the actual presentation together. It's this. And you guys, you might go, wait a second, Steven, I thought this was a membership area training. It is, but the membership area is where the rubber hits the road for what you've sold and what you put together. So we will go together, and what I brainstormed with Russell those first, it honestly took several weeks for us to put together this huge, amazing offer. And then we'll start saying, hey, what else can we add? What else can we add? And so the Secrets Masterclass was primarily this part of the stack slide, this part right here. And then we started thinking, what other things could we give to him? Oh, what if we gave him the 12-Month Millionaire? Oh my gosh, that book's amazing. It's such a good place to look for sales knowledge as well. Boom, so there's a cool tool, and we mailed that out to you. What else could we give him? Oh, what if Steven did Q&As? That would be so crazy sweet. Oh my gosh, how awesome would it be if he built out these different funnels? How sweet would it be, and that's how we set it all up. We use this as a framework for everything. How cool would it be is if we go start interviewing our actual 2 Comma Club people, and they start telling their story and peeling back the layer of their top funnel. That's still coming, by the way. It's awesome. It's in the works. There's just a lot of setup with that, so that's why it hasn't come out yet, but it will very shortly. That's how we put it all together. And so you start envisioning how this can work, and start envisioning how this can be put together. It's the beauty of info products. But if you're selling a physical product, you just start again with the same. You start, okay, well, you have the tool then, the physical product. Put that in the tool slot. Now just come up with something that you come up with some kind of info product or whatever that pairs with it. Boom, you're automatically in a blue ocean. No one else is doing that. You made it up. What else can you add as a bonus to that? Boom, there you go. Does that make sense? And that's how the offer gets created. That's how we use it and how we put it together. So when we started putting this together, we went and we got on the whiteboard and we started putting things, and it started just flowing together. It's fantastic. It's really, really fun. And we went back and forth. And I spent days and weeks thinking about this and about this. Back and forth. And I show, okay, dude, what do you think about this? I'm thinking we do these first because this isn't this. And be like, no, I need to tear it down. But I love that. So I'd keep that and go back and forth. And it's iteration after iteration. And exact same thing that we tell you to do. And when we finally got to a cool spot, then it was like, okay, now it's time to actually put the work together. It's time to actually put it all together and do it. And so, this thing's got to hide. Get out of the way. And so then the actual work of it came together, which is this. This is, I encourage you to, and I know some of you guys might want to just throw up when you see this, but this is the content for a Secrets Masterclass. All right, creating the mass movement, module 1. All right, and here's the section. All right, section intro. This is the base of it, what actually was created in here. See that? Section intro. And then I added a few things later on as they came to, as it all came together. I hope it's valuable to see this though. What I'm showing you right here, it's the exact same thing. Then I had, here's the title of the video and the section. There's the topic. Then I went and found the specific YouTube video where he talked about that thing. There's the minute and the second. of those things of that video, sent it over to the video guy. He chopped it out and put together the cool intro and outro on it. Then he actually uploaded the real thing. And what I want you to figure out for that specific video about the charismatic leader is, who do you serve, right? And do we already have content that kind of talks about that? If so, where is it? Well, it's from the Fat Event book. I put together pages 15 through 19. And then I started melding together all the pieces. This is how all the PDFs came together. Those are the layouts of it. You guys see all the work that went into that? It's a ton of work. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's done. It's great. It made $1 million in 3 weeks. Like, and it can do the exact same thing for you guys. Like, and I'm excited to keep showing you guys how to do this. But so far, like, what questions do you have before I keep moving forward? So you see the actual process that I actually went through to put this all together. I mean, and it's huge. Very nitty-gritty, lots of details. But if you got any questions, though, please go to the chat box right now and just ask. Now, understand that most of the 997 offers and membership sites that I've gone and critiqued of the Inner Circle and other people, they do not have nearly this close of the amount of content this is. Okay, does that make sense? There's not nearly. So don't look at this and go, oh my gosh, like, I don't have that much stuff. Like, that's huge. Yeah, we know, we get it. I mean, he's been doing it for 14 years. We have quite the archive to be able to pull from. We went and shot a bunch of new material. You know what I mean? So it's totally fine. Like, if you can still deliver on it, then you're doing great. But it's the reason why we sell it as we do. It's the reason the pricing is as it is. We know that this is capacity to change lives. And I've been so totally touched, by the way, but all the people, you guys have been tagging me, you guys have been saying you're self-solvers, and a lot of you guys have been making money just on, like, the test. Like, the self-solver challenge was not meant for you to totally, like, launch. It was meant to you to, like, get everything ready. And so you guys are actually doing it and making money, and it's the coolest thing ever. And Russell and I were, like, flipping out about it. Okay. He said, wait, did you say something, some of the membership custom code is in yeah, definitely. Definitely. Spreadsheet you can relate to. Is there a reason you guys choose YouTube over other hosting sites like Wistia? It honestly depends. Honestly, in the future, we'll probably move everything over to Wistia. There's just one extra layer of protection from people stealing from you. But it's always funny when people are like, I got in the back code and I stole Russell's sales video. We don't care if you still sell. It's always been funny when people. I always tell you guys, right? Like 5 to 10% of people are actually gonna steal from you. You're just gonna lose a lot of sales just by being online. You know, it's slimy, but it's the way the internet works, and people are dirtbags sometimes. So the fact of it is that we don't care if you steal something that's a sales video, like. But obviously these are content pieces, and so routinely what we'll do is go through and see if anyone has snuck into the membership area that they're not supposed to be in, and we'll kick them out. And and another layer of protection is to move over to Wistia, because you can't open it up in YouTube. There's a lot of things you could do, though, as well, to make it non-clickable so they can't open it up as well. You have to be a pretty hardcore coder to actually get in the back and grab it. But when it's all said and done, sometimes the squeeze, it's not worth the juice. So anyway, and YouTube is just gigantic. So sometimes there's videos we want to be public and not unlisted. Sometimes there's videos that we want to have out there as teasers for what it is, with links over to the sales video in the description. Sometimes, you know what I mean. And then Wistia, it's a paid platform too. I mean, you got to pay for bandwidth and stuff. So YouTube's free, and sometimes it doesn't matter if stuff gets stolen. And Wistia is paid. Sometimes you need it to be secured. So sometimes we use all sorts of stuff. We use tons of stuff. For a lot of this was YouTube, though. But very shortly we'll be switching everything over to Wistia. All right, Jean-Francois, you said, does the squeeze page, thank you page, sales page need to be in a separate funnel? Or these 4 pages can be in the same funnel than 2 pages? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, great point. Thanks for bringing that up. So let's go to... Okay, Expert Secrets book funnel, right? It's the actual book funnel. This right here, right? We have the opt-in page, order form. We've got the OTOs, thank you pages. And then right down here, we'll put the members area straight in the funnel itself. You don't need to create a separate funnel for a members area. I can't remember which is which. I'm not gonna start clicking through. But anyway, so no, I see exactly what you're saying. A lot of times what we'll do is, like Secrets Masterclass, it's in its own separate funnel because there's no other funnel on top of it. But I very well could include it in the 2 Combat Club coaching funnel as well. So anyway, great question though. So yeah, you don't actually, most of the time, especially with webinar funnels, we will put everything related to that product in the same funnel. And so these 2 pages most likely, typically, almost always are, for simplicity's sake, it's almost always the 2 pages at the bottom of the webinar funnel. Does that make sense? So if you want to, the really easy way to do it is when I'll give you guys the share funnel link for the funnel we're about to go build together. But when I do that, if you just save them as templates, you can upload them straight into the actual funnel itself for your webinar. And it does make it a lot easier, but you can still connect to it even if it's not. I mean, you can still send people access automatically through the whole system even if it's not part of the same funnel. But almost always without fail, just for simplicity's sake, we just keep it all in the same package. So you would see up here the actual webinar funnel steps as well. So great question though. Let's see. Edward said, do you guys have a different domain name for every funnel? Yes, most of the time. Most of the time, different domain naming for every funnel. So it's not it depends what we're selling, but usually, yeah. A lot of funnels are just test funnels we have in our account though. That we're just testing stuff. So, but I mean, we have Russell's hundreds of domain names. I mean, he's been doing it a long time. So anyway, so great questions though. Anyway, so hopefully that helps, that you see how we put it all together. And then what I do is I've got 2 monitors, or you could just do it this way. What I do, how I load it in is I will literally have on one side this screen, and then on the right side I'll have the actual memories area, and I just go from top to bottom, start building it out. And it took a long time, but looks fantastic in my opinion. Looks good. So anyway, a lot of content, a lot of cool stuff. And this was kind of the starting place. I don't actually really refer to this back anymore. It helped me organize my content, helped me organize my thoughts, all the different pieces and helps and PDFs and downloads and share funnels. It helped me get the initial product out of the gate. But now I just kind of use this as the thing. So it's not like I go back and update the spreadsheet whenever I go add, Secrets Masterclass FAQ. You know what I mean? Or Module 7, frequently asked questions. I hope this has been awesome value to you guys, by the way, too. This is pretty awesome stuff. So, yeah, got all the questions in here for you. Got all indexed in here. Said, loving it, man. I need that red button at the bottom of your list. Right here? Yeah, you do. Everyone needs to come. This is so sweet. I was super pumped for you guys who are coming to this. And that's something else that I'll show you guys as well. Is how to set this up. Only some of you guys have this inside your memories area because you upgraded. Others of you don't because you haven't. So this is a living document. This is not something. Anyway, cool. All right, guys. Oh, what's the cost of the FAT event upgrade? Overall it's 15 grand. So whatever you paid initially, you just pay the difference, and then to bring a partner or another person with you is 5 grand on top of that. So. Alice says, so great to see this. I'm glad. Hopefully this is demystifying some of the stuff that I've done. This is all in ClickFunnels. Somebody asked if I built this in a different software. I was like, no. This is all in ClickFunnels. All of it's of course it's all in ClickFunnels. Viva la ClickFunnels. Anyway, and you said support was confused about the payment plan to upgrade. Yeah, and a lot of it is because you guys see I'm launching this with you. You guys are like a third group to go through this. I do this every Friday, and I've been building this out for a little while. And it's so big, and the way it is because we've been doing this for a while now. You aren't the first group, and so you have anyway, sometimes we, in our haste, in our excitement, I literally will forget to tell support something. So that's my bad, not theirs. Edward said, why does certification program use a different membership site? It's because they need to be able to upload and submit other forms of, they want to do like more hardcore quizzes and stuff like that, but quite honestly, we were talking about that yesterday, they don't really need that. It's how the other person who runs and supports that certification program. That's how she wanted to do it. So I would rather keep it simple and awesome. So I built it all in here, as also proof that you can build this all in here, and even not being a coder. So, all right, you guys ready for this? Hey dude, I'm debating on how to spend my cash on that or Inner Circle. Well, you can't get to Inner Circle until you've gone through 2 Comma Club coaching anymore. That's part of the rules. So hopefully that answers the question, because the reason why is because you would have to go through this. Literally all of Inner Circle people are doing this as well, just so you know. This is the content that all of them have to go through. New people, even people who've already been in it, who've been struggling, before we decided to launch it this way, all of them have to go through this. So you no longer can join Inner Circle without going through 2 Comma Club coaching first. So, and those of you coming to Funnel Hacking Live event, we planned the whole thing last night, and you guys will hear more about why that is, which is crazy cool. Alrighty, cool. Well, I'm super freaking pumped. That was just the intro, you guys. We've been going for 35 minutes. You say it's been a good value so far? All right, let's go through. Let's actually build out a funnel together, and we'll start putting this whole thing together. So, and just so you can see me actually doing it. Let's say we're gonna sell product, and it's a membership area, and we're gonna call this demo membership area. My hands are going numb from this AC thing. All right. And 2 Comma Club. I'm gonna build the funnel. All right, coolio. And quite honestly, I always just start from scratch, so it doesn't matter. What we're doing right now is we're choosing the front page. We're choosing this page right here. And so first, let's go through and let's build this out. Does not take much time, and then we'll go through and we'll build the structure of this one out, and then I'll start getting into like content and extra cool bonus things on top of it and things like that. I think it'll be really helpful. He said, hey Steven, I'm not necessarily a technician in terms of the techie stuff and making ClickFunnels and third-party programs work together. Always slows me down in reference to the time I have. Is the FAT event more techie stuff? FAT event is, we certainly go through a little bit of that, but I'm not a coder. Russell isn't, and we're the ones running it. So hopefully that helps you not overthink that. What will you have at the end of the FAT event is yes, you'll have your perfect webinar funnel done. You'll have the script, meaning all of the slides. We go slide by slide with you on each of them. We take an entire day to do that, and and it's not like, hey, now just do this. Like, I'm walking around, and I'm there to be friendly, but I'm also there to give you honest feedback. So it's constructive criticism. So we go around, and it's really involved. It's so fun, you guys. It is the coolest event we have, in my opinion. We have 10 events happening in the next month here, just through various things, but that of all of them, almost even Funnel Hacking Live itself, like, it is still one of my favorites. It's one of Russell's too, because it's just like, it's cool, guys. We've had millionaires get created out of that event just since February when we did it last time. It's like, it's so freaking cool. Anyway, so you guys will like it. I'm so excited for these guys are coming. I totally check up on all you. I want to get to know you guys and serve the best way I can. So I'm pumped to see you guys there too. So anyway, so let's go build out this login page here. All right, so this one right here, the login page. So what I did is I went through and I created this page right here. Now, what I'm gonna do is, you guys remember last time I went through and I was building. Last time we did this, I went and I built the demo. It was. Where did I keep that here? It was the... Yeah, here we go. You guys remember when I was building this thing out here? And we had this goat and all this stuff here. I'm going to use the same color schemes and everything else just for the sake of keeping it the same. So that you guys can see where the congruency would happen as I'm building this stuff out. I'm going to have the same colors. I'm going to have the same, that kind of stuff. Obviously, we chose this sheep or goat, I don't know what that is, as a dummy thing, so that you guys could see how I would use it though, and I would left justify, and anyway, so let me show you how I would do this. So I'm going to use this little color picker tool up here, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab this blue color first things first, And let's go ahead and back out here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the this access page, and we're going to go put it together. Just very simply put it together. But honestly, we usually don't put that much time into these pages anyway, these first ones. So I'm going to delete everything just because I feel like I can't think until I do. We're going to turn this background area white. And now I always like to remember, you guys, I went through like the 3 simple ways that I throw a design together that looks good, but is can be done quickly, you know. And I'm not saying I'm the best designer, but I've designed a lot of funnels, and design is not what converts, so don't get too hung up on that. So I'm going to do a full width bar across the top. I'm gonna make it that blue color. I want to be able to anchor a color in there for us. When horizontal shapes that are long and horizontal, those give us the feelings of security, which is why government buildings are like that, on purpose. Things that are vertical represent power. So it's very vertical with very solid big columns. I mean, you can imagine a lot of government buildings and monuments are like that, and that's that for that reason. Anyway, so let's go through here, and I'm gonna have this big thing at the top here. I'm gonna put a logo here in the top, and I'm gonna go just search an image. Let's see. And we'll call it, let's look for just a sheet. All right. This is in a search feature. It's in every ClickFunnels account, just so you guys know. Most people don't know that's there. You can search other free stock image places straight from ClickFunnels, which is awesome. All right, I'm going to shrink this up a bit. Make it like 70, 60, there we go. Alrighty, we'll shrink this up as well there and right there. And I'm gonna toss a little shadow on there. Come over here to the drop down shadow, we'll go one more harder. There you go. Sweet, I already like it, you guys. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the actual login spot. So I'm gonna go with a small one in the middle here. Now you see how this background is not transparent, it's actually white. That's why the shadow stops right there. So I'm gonna go over here and just drop that whole thing down. And let's go and add a row, and we'll have a headline. And I'm actually gonna split into 2 right here. You guys see what I'm doing right here. One of the fun things you can guys do, if you ever have a hard time like actually building things in ClickFunnels, or like, hey, I have a hard time imagining what this is, just go to any web page. Close out some of these things. Just go to any web page, and start breaking them down. All right, right here from the top, that's 2 column, 1 row. You guys see what I'm saying? We got 1 column here on the right and another column right here. So this is 2 columns. But it's broken up into, if I was to build this in ClickFunnels, this is how I got good at ClickFunnels. This is literally why I know I'm sitting next to Russell, is because I got really good at it on my own. And the way I did it, I literally went to tons of sites, but one of the ones I went to was GetResponse. Oops, GetResponse.com, and I just pixel for pixel cloned their homepage, this whole thing, and I went through and I figured out. Okay, this is 1 column here, 2 columns. These are image features I could build in there. You know what I mean? And you start seeing everything else that's out there. You know, this is a full width top banner with the 1, 2, 3, 4 columns in a single row. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do this with 3 columns, or sorry, yeah, 3 columns, 1 row, because this is 1 for the image. 2 right here for navigation, and then 1 right here on the right for the lock-in. Does that make sense? You start picking apart all the different pages, so you can go to different membership sites, you can go to different whatever it is, and start seeing that you can literally build out anything with ClickFunnels, which I have. So I went and I cloned this whole thing, this entire page, while I was on a date and with my wife, and she wasn't happy that I was doing it. And I didn't realize I was. I just figured out what ClickFunnels was, and they had just left the beta. So this is like almost 3 years ago, and And I was like, this is the most insane tool I've ever seen. So I literally took their images, I took everything, and I didn't use it. It was just for my own practice and putting all these things together. So, and I went and I built the whole thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can use this for anything. And so that's how I did it. So, all right, so in my mind, I've got something in, welcome to my members area. I'd say something like that. And I'd clone it. I'd say login. To continue, and I'd say I'll see you on the other side, and I would bring that down quite a bit. And then we need to break up the actual text so it's visually easy to see. So make that full right there. I'll see you on the other side. Go dot dot dot. This should go 2 rows. And we'll decrease the line height a little bit here. All right, this is starting to get kind of low on the page, so I'm gonna shrink this all up here a bit. Boom. Boom. There we go. Alrighty. I was gonna make this 2 different, but I'll just have to do 1. Again, this whole purpose for me is not to give somewhat of a tutorial on how ClickFunnels works if you've never used it before. So just know that I'll be moving right along, but I'll explain myself as I go, especially if you ask questions. So hopefully that is a-okay. And I want this to be capitalized every first letter, which is nice. Make a cool little divider right here. Dividers are cool. I like them really subtle though, so I'm going to come in and make it light. And then I want this to be centered, but only, let's go with like 50%. Yeah, it's something like cool. All right, so I'm going to then come in here, and it's kind of cool. There's just this element. ClickFunnels takes care of it all for you. All the backend database, all they creating their account. If they forget their password, all of it's done in ClickFunnels. I don't know how to do it. I just click this button, and it gets added for me, which is crazy cool. Now this is kind of long, top to bottom right there. So let me go ahead, and I'm actually going to move this stuff. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to leave this up here and drop this down. And we'll make this, I got to pull this up just a little bit. Make the back transparent. And I'm going to, I need to make this a little bit wider. It's too narrow. Cool. And I'm gonna move this whole login thing right there. Boom, there we go. It's looking better. Now let's fix it. Welcome to my members area. Now there you'd obviously put, hey, welcome to Funnel Hacks, or whatever the equivalent of your course name is, and you could put that there. Then I'm gonna put an arrow. Arrows always make people do stuff, which is great. And you could put a picture of yourself, which I've done before. You could put a picture of, anyway, but you guys may not know also there's some cool stock arrows inside here as well. If you just click on stock right here up at the top, and this button here called arrows, and let's get a cool arrow here. It's kind of a cool one. And way too big though. There you go. Sweet. Sweet. All right, I haven't looked at questions for a while. Sorry about that. All right, you said, why that color specifically again? Hey, thanks for asking. Honestly, because I like it. And there are some colors. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the restaurant Golden Corral. when you go to Golden Corral, it's it's basically a buffet that's kind of low end, but they try and dress it up, and there's a market for that, which is awesome. So, but if you go to Golden Corral and you go in and you grab the plates, you go through, you pay, you grab the plates, you grab your seat. They hand you these plates that are, what are the colors of the plates? The colors of the plates are a very dark blue and a very very kind of pale forest green color, almost like a pine tree, right? And why do they do that? They do that because those two colors subconsciously create the feelings of satisfaction in the brain. So you won't eat as much. Why are the colors of McDonald's and Burger King and most other fast food, why is it yellow and red? Because those are the colors of desire and appetite. No joke, and that's why they do it. There's a lot that goes behind that, and so it's the exact same thing with this. You don't have to choose this. You don't have to choose this blue. I just chose it because I like the blue, and also brings feelings of mixed with this horizontal across the top. You might think, hey, that sounds stupid, and I get it. That's a small thing, but tons of small things do add up to a lot of cool stuff later in the future. Now, I didn't. Anyway, I studied a lot of design, a ton of layout for about 15 years of my life, and this stuff matters. So anyway, hey dude, is there an undo button or back last action of having to erase the whole? No, there's not. But most of the time it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete? So you at least can do that. So there's no undo button. That's something that's been asked for a long time. It's just we haven't put that in. Is ClickFunnels hosting this members area? I mean, it's the same as the other pages. You can put in your, whatever your URL is, your custom domain. So www.mybrandnewwebinarcourse that everyone-should-buy.com. You could put that on there. It's the exact same as all the other pages. So, yeah. Alrighty. I feel like I'll monologue for too long whenever no one asks questions, so thank you for the questions. All right, what I want to do is I'm actually going to go grab, you remember last time the trick I used, whatever your base color is, right? This is part of those 3 easy ways to create, good, easy to design. Whatever your base color is, you can take that base color and you can go to Paladin. This is one of my secret weapons. When you go to Paladin, Math can tell you what colors will look good with that color. So I'm going to go ahead and load up that color, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to click up here on the triad, and this is how we got that orange last time we did this. So I'm going to go here and click this. I like that orange color. A lot of colors, and actually, Edward, I remember now. I remember why we chose these colors. Okay, if you go to body. What is it? It's Beachbody. Beachbody.com. What colors do you see? All right, these guys split test to death, which is why this is also built why it is. Look at the same colors. We were funnel hacking them. So that's where those colors came from. So anyways, I'm going to grab this color, which is mathematically complementary to this blue. I'm sorry if this is too techno-babbly. I get into it. So anyways, and I'm going to make, you don't really want more than 2 colors inside a page because it creates conflict with the brain. So anyways, I'm going to say login or create your login to continue. I'm going to go ahead and decrease the line height just a little bit so it's tighter. Yeah, it looks good. I'll see on the other side. Let's shrink that down a little bit. And now that red and the orange don't look good together, so I'm going to go grab another arrow. I hope this is helpful. Let's switch this to the black. All right, cool. Cool. Let me shrink this up just a little bit here, and then I'm going to show you, this is the first little piece of custom code I'm going to drop in here. Let's first make a footer. All right, so I'm going to go full width. And typically, just because it creates a good, it kind of, the brain wants closings and endings. Have you ever watched a movie where there's not actually an ending? It would drive you nuts. A lot of times, if you have to, end a movie early, you just got to see the ending. It's the same thing with design and layout. So, the bottom for me is usually the same color as the top when I'm going quick. some fun legal stuff. Alrighty, now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna turn it back to kind of a white, but I want it to be subtle, so we'll drop it down like that. I usually make them like 14 font. And there you go. It's almost too faint now. Just turn it up just a little bit. There you go. Cool. So say, welcome to my members area, you know, and now what I also want to have happen is I want one thing on here to pop out of me on the screen. I don't want to have just 3 different random blocks of text. There's something called hierarchy. The brain needs to know where to go first. You need to have that resolution in the mind. And the focal point of the page is a great thing to highlight or make pop out. And so in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to columns, and I want to pop out the actual thing I want them to do, which is this spot over here. So I'm going to go create a background right back here. Less is more, so we'll just leave it right there at that. And give some padding on the top, the bottom, and on the sides. And then let's make the corners, there you go, 10% there. And we'll do just a little bit of a drop shadow as well. There you go. That looks good. That's great. That looks way better. In fact, I don't think we need this on 2 separate lines anymore either. This looks a lot better. This is how I build, guys. It's not like we plan out all this stuff, and we get approved by HR, and we move on and do it. Like, we just, what looks good, and we move on, you know. All right, cool. Now let's make this bottom part just a little bit bigger as well. Awesome, you guys. Cool, that's what I'll do. And you could honestly put a picture of your course right here. You could put a picture of yourself. You could put, you know, a picture of your community. Maybe even a picture of the actual members area. Just a screenshot you could toss right there. I just put an arrow there, but you can put, you know, other things you want to as well. So, anyway, let's go add a little piece of custom code. I want this button color to be the exact same as this orange. I want it to be, those got to match together. Otherwise, we got a dark blue, another blue that doesn't match as far as on a color wheel goes, and then this other orange here. And then we'll go, and I want it to match here. Now, as it currently stands, we know that ClickFunnels, there's some things that you just can't do in it out of the box. You know, there are some places where you're going to want some custom code. There's some places where you want this to happen or this to happen, and you're not able to yet. And we understand that. But we also launched it, and it works great, and a lot of people have made great money with it. And so the point is just to take action like we have. So, oh, geez, what the heck? They just added this. That wasn't there. I literally had to hand code that with CSS always. Anyway, so that's sweet. Never mind. It's already there. I was going to show you a piece of custom code that I always had to do that with. That's freaking awesome, you guys. I always had to hand code that. And I didn't want to get into CSS with you guys. So anyway, sweet. Well, that's done. You'll notice that in ClickFunnels, what's cool is that it will cache your recently used colors, so you don't always have to remember what this code right here is for. You can just click right there, and that's how I got it, and that's how I kept it right there. I think Russell owns that URL already. Super long one. I feel like I'm witnessing magic here. How are you doing all this in less than 10 minutes from scratch? I've thought it a lot, my friend. Anyway, so let's say that this is my logo. Logos do nothing for conversion almost. They're always just for branding, which in my mind barely matters. And then they're more for the entrepreneurs, you know, feel goods. So let's go ahead and toss it down here. I'm gonna, which is our sheep. Let me go through it here. Okay, and I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller, and then I'm also gonna fade it so that it's, and we'll go black and white too. Yeah, what's up? That looks good. All right, and so over here, the reality is that this would, you know, show, this would show, you know, like contact, legal, you know, all the other legal matters and stuff like that. So I don't know why my Z score is messed up in there. Repetition is the mother of all skills. Yes, there, Jean-Francois. By the way, my friend, I want you to know that my wife and I literally laid in bed, and she helped me practice say her name because I felt so bad I was saying it wrong. She went and lived in Romania for a little while, and she was, before we met, she worked at an orphanage there. And she was showing how, and I was like, you know more French than I do, and I feel so bad. I always say his name Jean, and I'm saying it way wrong. And she and I, so I apologize, but just please know that I made the effort to try and say your name correctly. It's because I felt so bad that I just knew that I was butchering it every single time. I'm glad I was in your. We gotta edit that part out. Anyway, someone just asked a question. He said, "Do you recommend matching colors to your company logo brand, or does that matter at all?" Yeah, definitely. It certainly can, for sure. So that color though is more neutral. It's not something that pops out. Reds and yellows and oranges and big bright colors are loud and they grab attention, and so that's more where I want the focus to go. I don't feel like this would be overbearing at all, to have it not be like that tan or something like that. But yeah, definitely you'd want to be able to pull that out. In fact, a lot of what's created in the Secrets Masterclass itself, these colors come from our logos. Different reds and stuff like that. Actually, this is the book color for .com Secrets. That's where that red comes from. And then the blue is the one from Expert Secrets, because I wanted to be able to pull that layout throughout the rest of it. So yeah, totally, you're right on the right track. All right, somebody has asked, these are actually my company colors. I love them together. Hey, that's cool. Wouldn't the arrow make it look awkward and mobile? Hey, thanks for bringing that up, Edward. What I'm going to do, and the way I always build is I go through and I build it the first time, just the whole way through, making it look awesome on desktop. And then I go back through and I make it, I mobilize it. Because you're right, if I come up here and I click the mobile button, that's weird. You know, the headline's jacked up. This looks super weird. And anyway, that's super awkward. So, but I'm not going to worry about it till I have it how I want it to be, with all the elements that I want it to be. And then we'll go back through and we call it mobilizing it. I'll mobilize it. And then usually what I do is I put up here product name. So whatever the product name. So funnel hacks dash members access. So whatever your product name is, you can just, obviously replace it there. So click save. Never forget to toss in that metadata though. That really does matter. Anyway, people always say like, hey, you can't SEO with ClickFunnels. You most definitely can. I SEO with ClickFunnels, my own business stuff, very well. And that metadata though is because most people forget to fill it out. Anyway, as far as typography, never mind. And then general, I want it to show in the search engines. Let's say I don't want to have the affiliate badge pop up though. The only focus of the page I want for you is just the login. I'm not trying to promote it. Does that make sense? I think it matters for your market too. If 80% of your visitors are mobile, it's a good idea to switch that. Build mobile first. Yeah, ish. I don't. We never do that. Ever actually. And about 40% of our traffic comes from mobile. But what we do is just easier to see right here, right? Instead of a little tiny screen like this, and I'm trying to put it all together. So first, I use this as my starting place, and then I go through and I'll show you how I'm mobile friendly later. It takes me 5-10 minutes to mobile optimize an entire funnel, but only because I make it awesome the first time through on desktop. So what I'm telling you is if you want to go back and forth, it's a huge pain in the butt to go back and forth if you're trying to build both mobile and desktop at the exact same time. Massive pain in the butt. That's what I'm telling you. I wouldn't try to do it first. How do you change the background color in the user login element? Hey, great question, Alex. So what I do is you look at these. So if I click up here at settings and I change the background right here, it changes the settings for the entire thing. You know what I mean? It changes it all in the back. And I don't want that. So I just want to do, if you've ever seen like our offer walls, like at the end of the Expert Secrets book, or we have a different funnel style type coming out soon that we haven't ever talked about. Anytime we have what's called an offer wall on a thank you page, the way we do it is you just click on columns and you see it highlight there, and that's where you change the color and do all the settings you want to. So cool. Any other questions with this? Then I'm going to move on to the next part. Yeah, I know. I know that so well because that was one of my questions I had 3 years ago when I started using ClickFunnels. So, alrighty. I kind of like that more. I had this design teacher. He was totally a goofball, but he knew his stuff. I learned a lot from him, and he'd always make us stand up, and we'd have to repeat after him, and he would go, "Okay, everyone, repeat after me. White space is good." We'd have to go, white space is good. And what he's saying is, if you don't have something right here, don't feel like you have to fill it. you know, the page needs space to breathe, so less is more. Anyway, alrighty. Just because all of you guys have been asking about it, let's go ahead and mobile friendly this thing now, just so that so I don't have to come back to this page also. All right. So what I do is, let's look at what it's going to look like on mobile. All right, that's ugly, right? It's awful, terrible. And in fact, this is even too big. So what I do is I just go piece by piece. I'm like, okay, this is too big. I don't want it to be that big. I literally clone it. Then on one of them, I just mark them over here as, oops. A little chat box here keeps messing with my, let me reload this page real quick. We just barely got new internet. Our last internet person was crazy slow, but we just got new internet and it keeps cutting out every once in a while. Can you guys see that down there? Anyway, I'm going to click on desktop only. That is the weirdest thing. All right, then this next one I'm going to click over here on mobile only. Hope you guys can still hear. Have you guys ever experimented with pop-ups on this page? Not for a login. This isn't a page that we usually spend that much time on. It's not something that needs to have that much time spent. It's. Oh, I know I couldn't see it because it's my own fault. I had moved the page down. My bad, user error. No, only because we don't spend a lot of time on this page because all we're trying to get them to do is opt in or log in and create a. We're trying to help them consume. So. We don't want to distract them with other stuff too, so there we go. That should be white when I save it. Cool. All right, in order to make this mobile friendly, I think I made both of these mobile only. One has to be desktop only, right? And then I come back over here. Let's go back to mobile view. All right, I don't like how this headline is looking, so I'm going to clone it. Come down here to mobile only. And then I'm going to make this one desktop only. It's going to only make that appear in that version of the page. It's different internet IP addresses and things like that that are associated with mobile-only devices, so it knows when to separate it. We're going to come, yeah, right here. All right, now I don't really like this arrow being there. It's pretty awkward, so I'm just going to go ahead and just do desktop only on that. So it shrinks that up. And then this, but I do want an arrow, so that they scroll down and make sure they fill it out. So I'm going to go put this right here. We're going to mark it as mobile only, and then I'm going to grab an arrow and yeah, let's grab this one right here. Nice. All right, and 50. Boom. There you go. Now let's go ahead and make this a login. We're going to go ahead and desktop only. You guys see, like, if you try and do this before you have everything how you want it, it is a royal pain in the butt, which is the reason I don't focus on anything until desktop is awesome. Then I'm going to go ahead and make this desktop only, and we'll go back and make this one mobile only. And you can do it like edit mobile size only, and you can do it without cloning elements, but I don't know, it's just my style. I just do it this way. So anyway, that's it, right? You'll see that the way it works is that any column that's on the left gets loaded in mobile on top of whatever's in the right. And so that's why this fun legal stuff tag right here gets loaded on top of the sheep right there. So anyway, that's how it would look. So that one's done. Anyway, let's see. How do you set up the sales page to send the client to the login page only if they purchase? Hey, we'll get to that very soon here, Jean-Francois. And we will get... I'll get into more of those details in a bit. Just give them the link to the members access page. No. On the thank you page or email. No. The reason why is because if you give away the link that says give this for free access, if they share that link, the person doesn't have to pay. So ClickFunnels generates the link for them when they buy the product. So I'm going to go show you guys how to make sure that only people who purchase get this. And I'm going to show you also how to make sure that only people who purchase also have certain things in the members area also unlock. So great question though. So we'll do that in a little bit here. Is there a way to create a full page with images that are also mobile optimized? I hack it by using some images as a background and sometimes as a copy of the image. Paragraph with no button, expose image, but then I need to make desktop. I totally understand the question that you're asking for sure. So you're saying, can I make a background image over here? Let's toss in the sheep. Okay, let's say we got, that looks so ugly. All right, so we got one gigantic sheep here in the background. How do I make it look awesome when it's actually in the background right there too? There are actually support docs where they walk you through how to do that, how to lock it so it's in a certain spot. I'm not going to go through that now. I personally don't do it that way. Less is more, and white usually converts better than any other color. So I keep it simple and very clean. I kind of keep the Apple style in my head for that. But great question, Heather, though. So anyways, all right, I think this page is done. We've named it. We've got all the different pieces in. Now, I actually want to be able to say, hey, ClickFunnels, whenever somebody actually does go and create their members access link, or so ClickFunnels is already going to keep a list of all the people who are in your members area, but I actually want a list of them. So let's go in, and I'm actually going to go through, and now we've kind of done this, right? Let's go through and let's start putting this piece together. I want to go through and again, I usually just start from scratch. So, okay, here we go. All right, let me show you one little cool thing. So you guys remember in the webinar one, there is this cool little like line, this little piece of trim line thing. I'm gonna just add that in, only because anyway, it's a little piece of flair, but I'm gonna toss it in. So we'll put it in. Oh, that could look cool. You know what I'm gonna do is in the columns in the bottom here, instead of that background thing being a color, I'm gonna have it be an image, and it's gonna be that subtle pattern. So let's go over here to subtle patterns, and I'm gonna say paper. That was it. Where are you? There we go. Cool. We're gonna download that one right there. Let's open that baby up. And let's jump back to Subtle Patterns. Is a free pattern image place, by the way. Less is more, but they do a great job at let's see, boom. Yeah, I want that one. Cool. Let's drop that one in. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to that looks kind of cool. We're gonna put this on repeat though, because it should appear better. Yeah, that's kind of sweet right there. Let's make the borders a little bit stronger. Only because I want to be able to pull elements from the funnel that just went through into the whole thing. If I create a page that looks completely different from the page beforehand, but is actually part of the same funnel, they're gonna get confused. They're gonna be like, am I in the right spot? Did I accidentally click out of it? Some of the funnels that I've seen that people send over to me, they're like, hey, would you check this out? I immediately am like, hey, I feel like I'm in a different, they're like, it's all part of the same funnel. I was like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like that, you know? And any kind of confusion creates distaste in the brain, you know? And so I don't want there to be any kind of, so that's why I just did that. Again, a lot of these things seem small, and sometimes they are. But a lot of these small things together, anyway, they really help. So yeah, that's cool, and that makes it stand out even more. Awesome. The reason I was doing that too is that you're not done. You know, after you sell something to someone, you got to help them start to consume it. All right, now this is the way this is broken up. All right, in the members area in ClickFunnels, when I go and I actually create this page, this view right here, right, this view, that's the live view of this page. Oops. All right, here's the live view. But how do I actually create all this stuff? How do I put this content together? If I click on just this first link right here, open an editor, it actually pulls me to the equivalent of this. All right, here's my mobile view. Here's my desktop view. I do same exact thing that you guys see. It's exactly what I do also. So if I was to take this page, it's mobile optimized. If I was to take this page and shrink it down, this lessons element pops up because it sees it's mobile, and it will condense the lessons, which is awesome. So it's easier to actually use and toggle inside of inside of mobile. See, it's not totally mobile optimized, but so few people use it on mobile that it's not something that I'm super usually super concerned about. So how do we get the content in here? The way that we do it, the way I've actually put it together, all I did is I clicked on right. I went and I chose a template. This is where all the content gets actually put in. So in the actual Secrets Masterclass, if I go click, this is the actual one, right? This is all the content. Does that make sense? This is all right here. Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely huge. And what's cool about it is that these are every single one of these. This is essentially a different page, and this is a different page, and this is a different. But how do we get it to load up on just one member's area? And how do we lock all those pages down if you bought something and if you didn't? Well, it's through this back end area right here. It's this. So we create, everything's broken up into sections and lessons. So here's up here top, here's the sections, right? So here's the welcome.com expert join, right? There's the welcome, and there's the welcome right here. Welcome, boom, 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 boom. There's the content. Well, what's the next section? You know what I mean? And what's creating the mass movement? You know, and here's all the pieces. You know, creating mass movement and all the pieces. So that's the way it works. That's how it gets tossed in there. So what happens is, and there's been some confusion on this before in the past, and the reason I bring it up is that when I go and I click on open in editor, I am not editing the actual content that will be in the members area. I am editing the layout. I'm editing everything else around it that is not the actual content pieces themselves. Does that make sense? So so let's make it look like it was part of the funnel before as well. Let's make it actually you know. So I grabbed all the different elements. These are different pieces that are part of, anyway. So I'm gonna go in here and let's grab again that same blue color. I want that exit pop. Alrighty. So I'm gonna grab the blue and let's make this top part the blue color. I usually start with the way pages look, and then I'll go through and start putting the rest of the content in there. And I do like that top bottom thing, but I want a little more black in it. There we go. Support and dashboard, these are always helpful to have in there for people. All right, and I want my section headlines to have that same orange color. I like that orange color, and we obviously know why we've selected it now, which is great. So I'm going to go through and grab that color again. And let me click on edit here, background color, boom. Yeah. All right. The whole thing is ugly, so let's make this wide. I got to make the footer now. And here's one little tip. If I was to go through and make the top and bottom the same color on this one, that's fine. But if I was to shrink this all down, there'd be this awkward blue bar and then this gray color again. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that before. I can't stand that. Let's see. I can't even get it to happen because I fixed it. So let me show what I'm talking about. So I've got this blue color, right? Let me grab this color right here. And similar to how I make the top and bottom, usually I'll have them usually be the same color. What I do is, so let's go ahead and save. Actually, let me just put the legal stuff in there. Fun legal stuff. Alrighty. Drop it down to 14. Oops. Alright, so there's the footer, and I'll actually put, we got 40 there. I want a margin on the top though. Let's drop margin. Cool. Even though it's on the bottom of the page right here, what would happen is if I go into the preview section, like, and let's say there's not a lot on there, there's gonna be this awkward blue bar on the, really awkward blue bar, and then this color again. It just kind of looks weird. So the way I get around it is what I'll do is I actually go, I just grab this color, in the background. And I make this whole section back here that color. Awesome. So the whole section in the back there is that color. And then I make the background of the entire page that blue color, this blue color back here. So let's go. Sweet. All right, now I don't need that margin, but I want more of it on the bottom. So I'll go to the bottom here. We'll drop 60. Sweet. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes any sense to what I just did, but it will drastically help keep your page cleaner if you do that. So anyway, is that helpful? I haven't looked at questions for a bit. Let me go back to it. Does the membership area still use the old editor? For right now, yeah. For right now, it does. I haven't had any issues with it though, but yeah. So right now it is. So yeah, if there's any other questions, let me know. Actually, it's probably a good time for me. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm just monologuing like crazy. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, I'll luckily be giving this whole thing to you as well. I'm going to go real quick here to the questions that I got inside Typeform. What I did is I went inside of, right, you guys remember in the Secrets Masterclass, what I did is I said, hey, look, we got these bonus funnel builds coming up. I want to show you guys how I actually build it. I said, hey, answer here. All I did is I pasted in the link to my Typeform. You could also use Wufoo or Google Forms or some other form builder, doesn't matter. And I clicked, hey, answer me. Yeah, I've got a question. What's the biggest challenge you have with membership sites? Well, these are the responses I got from you guys, which is right here. Most of you asked questions in the Facebook group, which is fine. But some of you did ask here. It's the benefit of running Ask campaigns on a recurring basis. All right. Will we be able to integrate a chat form in the future? I'm sure that you could. There are other ways to do membership sites. You don't have to use this layout. You don't. I could delete this block right here and make it so that whatever content I put inside of this page is still behind a membership lock. Does that make sense? I don't have to have this whole thing laid out like this, where there's sections on the left and there's content on the right, and I'm clicking over here to toggle between it. I could literally just delete this, right, and then just build a normal page, but then that membership gate is in front of it, and so I could, the inner circle members area is built that way. The actual inner circle one is not built out with this stuff on the left. This is an element, membership navigation 2.0. The one on the right, that's another element. It's a membership content. Membership search, that's this element over here. And I like it. It's great, and most people use it for that, but you don't have to use it that way. You could literally delete this whole section, this whole thing right here, and just make a normal page, and you could embed a form straight on it, and have it be that way, and it would work just fine. You don't have to have the stuff on here. I remember when I realized that, I was like, holy crap, like that's huge. You know, I don't think you're not forced to use these things right here. So hopefully that should be helpful for that. So I can't remember who asked that, but how does restricted access work? How does the secret access work? Okay, so what I want to show you real quick then is, this is a good time to do that because now we're actually getting into it. So I'm going to just save this real quick. We'll come back into it. But what it's asking is, hey, just like I have here, right, you don't see this RSVP for the FAT event unless you bought it. How do I restrict access to that? Well, the way that you do it is like this. Let's say, so this right down here, let's just make that together. Let's act like we're making it together. Let's say it's an RSVP form, or I don't know, some access for something else. So I'm going to add a new section. That's what this is right here. This thing is a section. So I'm going to add a new section. I'm going to come down here and we'll say, only you can see this, you know, or whatever the name of the section is. But when you go and you sell the actual product, whatever it is you're selling on the actual webinar, you can just go select the product name right down here, anywhere. I don't know, anywhere. Let's say that you had to buy .com Secrets Labs and the Commission Crusher template. So let's say there's two things they have to buy, or it's either or, I mean. It's not an and statement, it's an or statement, just so you know. So I bought this or this or this. You know, it's not this and this and this and this. So now let's say that I was to go through and say, hey, for this double reading your product, I want only people who bought this very first one right here. I only want that. Then what I'm gonna do is create the lesson section. Now it is restricted, and if I want to go edit it in the future, I literally just click restrict access on the side right here, and I could go toggle that on and off, or add another thing on there. Hey, you know what, let's add it to those people who bought this also. Does that make sense? And so it's updated. Now I could go in here now and just add the actual lesson in, and I'm gonna add it to the section, hey, only you can see this, your special, right? And let's say I want just a video lesson. That doesn't matter too much. Don't worry about the template thing that much. But let's say I only want them to see it after 7 days. That for some reason, after they start using it for 7 days, I want to be able to offer to them, you know what? Why don't I just do this for you, right? And so let's say that the thing you're actually offering to them is the ability to upgrade to your coaching, right? The done for you service, the higher thing on the value ladder. But I don't want them to see it immediately. Let's start having them be able to view that within 7 days afterwards. That way I know I'm working with people who are only going through this stuff, who are visiting often, whatever it might be. I'm going to create the lesson section now. Now I can go through and actually start to edit the content that's on there. So get to Boise, right? So this content right here. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click in Open in Editor, and I'm going to go through, Edward, don't worry, I'm going to show you how I ended in the lessons here in just a little bit. But I can go through, and just like the normal ClickFunnels editor, I can put stuff in, take stuff out. I'm going to put resources. I could put, audio players. I could put all sorts of stuff, And let's say right under here, I put a button that says, apply for coaching or the done for you service or whatever it is now, and I want it to open in a new page, and I put the URL in right there, https:// whatever, right? Now anyway, it's the exact same as the actual editor itself. So I can go here and click save. Now in the future, in 7 days after it's a 7-day drip right there. In the future, all I got to do is, wherever they're being pointed to, I'm just selling the thing, and I know that it's 7 days after someone purchases, they're already starting to get the ability to go and upgrade, which is awesome. This is super, super cool. This is one ways you can keep monetizing membership sites, which is really helpful. I'll show you guys more ways in a bit. The indenting thing I'll show you here really soon. That is some custom code. Leslie said, is this how we would make content available after a period of time, like 1 week only, then release 2 or 7 days? Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it. So let's say after the 7 days is over, let's say I want to add it one more though, where it's like, let's say it's the only you can see this, right? Only people who bought that one thing can see it. Let's say after 21 days, in 21 days, I want them, to start seeing testimonials. If they didn't actually see, if they weren't convinced beforehand, now let's go and let's do some testimonials that they start seeing. And this is a way that, in a certain area, in a certain sense of the term, is almost like a membership funnel inside of the membership funnel. Does that make sense? It's totally Inception. Anyway, so in 21 days, then they start seeing that stuff, and you're loading up the testimonials. You're loading up exact same like the editor, but yeah, that's exactly how you would do that. Yeah, I don't have any kind of drip on here at all. Just so you guys know, when I was building this though, it was dripped out to death because I was staying literally 1 week ahead of everybody. And it's not that we didn't know what it was going to be. It's that it took so long to build each section. This is not a normal case study on what $1,000 products usually look like, which is why it's 15 grand to come. Okay, most of the people I've ever seen actually put together a $1,000 product, their membership area has like just this first section in it for $1,000, but they'll have awesome tools, they'll have good bonuses. It's not that it's not a lot of value, but just don't get overwhelmed thinking like, oh, I gotta have all this stuff in there. It's not true. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, alrighty. So that's how you do that. Let's see. That's how you do the drip. I want my membership site to look and function kind of like Digital Marketer Labs. Is that possible? Yeah, absolutely. And the way you would do that, just so you guys who don't know, Digital Marketer Labs looks similar to how the front of Amazon looks, meaning there's all these boxes and cubes, and it doesn't look how this one does, where there's all this stuff on the left, and then all, the actual content on the right. And that's exactly what I was saying before. Inside, if I was to go click and open editor again, what would happen is you just delete this, right here, click that button, you take out this whole section right there, and then just as if it's a normal ClickFunnels editor, as if you're no different than any other page. Just build out the page how you'd want it to look, and it would just be behind behind this lock gate, so to speak, of the membership access, this step. So, alrighty. I want to complete an A to Z step-by-step guide all in one place so I don't have to hunt around or miss something, with no assumptions about how much I'm supposed to know, including how to connect payments, the membership, how far it's going. It's a lot of text. Let's see. The transition from payment to making the membership account seems particularly vague. That's the reason we're doing this. I've tried several membership software packages, and they always make you figure out how they were thinking, which I'm find impossible to do, so I get stuck. I need this today. Cool. Well, that's cool. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is helping you see how easy this actually is. Once you have the content, it literally is a matter of making the page look just a little bit pretty and loading it up in this. That's it. Which URL do you send to people for the membership access page? All right, let's get into that here really quick. So let's talk about how do you actually tie together, right? These guys have come from, right, this membership funnel up over here, and let's say that back over here on this page, this is where they actually do the ordering. So they order and buy right here, and they buy the product. All right. So in order to actually totally demonstrate this, let's go to the actual webinar funnel that we built last time, and anyway, so here's the actual webinar funnel, right? And down here, we have an order page. And in the order page, obviously, when they go through and they buy, right, this is the layout I was showing you that typically converts the highest. It's the layout that usually there's a stack slide. This is usually what it is. This is usually where we send people for after a webinar. Converts really well. But I still need to create a product because it's just not in there. So let's go through and we're going to call this. Come on. Come on. All right. Gosh, where was that? Okay, we're gonna go through here and we're gonna call this. It's so funny, you guys. Like, we get whatever error you have with ClickFunnels. Sometimes, I mean, we do too every time. So I'm sorry. There's every once in a while APIs. It's the nature of APIs. It's actually not ClickFunnels' fault, but APIs need refreshing, and it looks like ours does. So they'll have to go do that rather quickly here soon. So anyway, so I'm just gonna choose a product that already exists. Does that make sense? So inside of the members area right here. Let's see, we got the registration page. Let me go drop that over here real quick again and go see it. Just so you guys know, like when you go create the actual product in the members area right here. All right, the order page. Alrighty, so all I would do, right, is I would go create a product, whatever I name the product in here. And actually it's good I'm not creating it because when you share funnels things over, the products don't obviously transfer, so it wouldn't make, it's not gonna do any good for me to do that anyway. So anyway, so I would add the product, whatever the name of the product is, right? Inside of, in fact, let me go find another one that I can show you. Let's go to the actual Funnel Hacks webinar. All right, the actual Funnel Hacks auto webinar that we've got running right now. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to because that one goes to, that wouldn't make sense for our purposes here. Let's go to Funnel Scripts. I'm trying to think what other members area ones though, things we put together that I can show you. All right, so under this, actually this is perfect. We have so many funnels in so many places, you guys. I'm sorry that I, let's see, hopefully this is helpful still though. We got funnel, let's see, I'm trying to think what one would be good. Actually, yeah, it is Funnel Scripts. There we go, it's just this one. There we go, order form. This is the, I was trying to find a specific example I was thinking of. All right, so this is the actual one. This product made $3 million last year. So when I click on products, right, here's the actual Funnel Scripts product itself. All right, and what's gonna happen is when you go create it, All right, so this is the back end where it all gets created. It's a subscription model. It's, you know, X, Y, and Z. But on the fulfillment email, this is where it happens. Okay, and he's using I think he has an Actionetics thing running, so he didn't write it here, but right on the fulfillment email itself, this link underneath when it says thank you and membership access, you're gonna go choose the membership area that you just created. Does that make sense? We have a ton of them, so I'm not gonna go through and look for it. But just so you know, like I would look for the members area that I'm creating right now, right? The actual dummy one, and I would look through and I would select that one product. Oh, it's right here. I'm not gonna click it because this is a live funnel, but if I click, what happens is that on the thank you page, and in the fulfillment email itself, so if I was to click right here, and right here, see how it says product thank you page? If I was to take this and drop it inside the fulfillment right there, it says this will be swapped out for your product's thank you page URL, or if it's a members area set up for the thank you page, your buyer's unique one-time membership access account link, creation link. So it's going to get switched out for whatever membership area that I select right here. If you go into and give them this link right here, you're giving, if they were to share that, there'd be no way, like it would give out your stuff for free. Does that make sense? Don't give this out unless you want it. If this is literally for free access, this is for your mom, this is for your buddy, this is like, that's for people who don't have to pay. Don't put that inside your emails. Don't put that inside of, that's not what that's for. That's literally just for free. So the way that you lock it, the way that it can remain locked, the way that it is through this right here is inside the product. When you actually create the product inside of your webinar funnel on the order page, go to the fulfillment email, and all you're doing is you're selecting the members area, selecting whichever one it is, right? You go to the members area, you click on it, and then you put this little short code right there that it gives you, and it will be automatically, dynamically swapped out real time for a link when it sees the purchase come through, and it'll say, hey, here you go. All right, here you go. Here's your one-time link so you can go create your login. And all it's doing is it's sending them a secured, locked version of this page right here. Oh, but I'm already logged in, so it went straight in. So let me open incognito. There you go. So it'd send them this. And instead, it would say, hey, looks like you just bought, and it would give me the ability, it would say, put your email in, put your password in twice. But since I haven't bought the product associated to this, that's why it's not showing it to me. This is happening live right now. Does that make sense? So that's how you set it up. That's how you put those two things together so that it's locked. And let's say that there's another product from another funnel or something else, or honestly, you want to restrict access, period, 100%. Let's say someone does sneak out and they do grab this. Now, the email that is associated with the purchase. So let's say I don't want anyone to see this first section. Well, I really want to make sure that this thing's locked down. I could go here to restrict access, and I'm going to go select the name of my product again, right? I'm going to go, let's say this is an extra bonus one. I'm going to go restrict access for something that's different. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense, because that is it's a great question. We do get it often, but the whole functionality of the database and the way it's all set up and the code behind what it takes to do that kind of thing is insane. Our members area, this is an awesome members area. So you can pull off anything you want with it, but you can lock down different areas, whatever you need to as you go. So, will we need Actionetics for that membership feature? No, that's just straight in how it is. That's just normal generic ClickFunnels. Will we get to work on our member sites at the FAT event or just our webinars? The membership site, you're just delivering the what. We help you figure out the what as far as what the offer is and things like that. But what the funnel event really does is more figure out the how. You also figure out more the how to actually sell the thing, how to actually put your stuff together. It honestly would be a waste of time for us to do that with you at the FAT event, just because there's not much more else to it. What I just showed you right there in the hour and a half, and we got you for 3 days. So, and you can go build out your content like that. So that's how you do that there. So great question though. I have people buying outside of ClickFunnels, so people will not get a fulfillment email unless I send them one. Is that what I need to do? So what you could do if you have people outside of ClickFunnels, number one, I would switch that so that they are. Just kidding. But what I would do is, in that scenario, I would send them this one. It may not be as locked, but quite honestly, it's not that big of a deal, I mean, most of the time it isn't. So I would send them that link, and it'll work just fine. So it's a good question though. Let's see here. Let me get back to these questions. Oops, wrong one. Okay. All right. How do I build them up, set them up, categorize them, and update them? I think I just went through that a little bit. How to link to a lesson from outside members area. In other words, be able to put a link to a specific lesson in an email when they click. When they go to that lesson after logging in. Hey, that's actually a great question. So you guys remember the last... actually, let me just do this with you. All right, remember the live funnel builds are here, right? Live webinar funnel build. Remember this graph right here that I was showing you? This graph right here is the actual funnel. Here's the purchasing part of it. Here's the members area part of it. This would all be part of the same funnel inside of ClickFunnels, right? And here's the Actionetics suite automations. You have to do like 3 things a week, and it all runs on its own. But I like what you're asking. You're asking about this right here. Trying to zoom in, it won't let me. This right here, the consumption series. So in that scenario, let's say, like you just said, how do I link to a specific lesson inside of the members area? Honestly, we don't overcomplicate it. This is how we do it. Where'd it go? Here we go. In the consumption series, so let's say that somebody goes and buys, and you're trying to train them on the content, or you're trying to, like you said, link to specific sections, or try to make sure that they understand certain concepts, or you know what I mean? You're trying to see to it that they get taken care of for that, for the different sections inside of the, inside the members area, the different pieces of content. What you can easily do is, I would do exactly what I've been doing with you guys. I take a screenshot. Okay, I use Dropler. I click on draw and I go like this, and that creates a screenshot, and I say it's right here, right here on this one, and I take an arrow and I'm like, there we go, boom, boom, boom. That's it. That's all I do. And I would, I don't know if you're looking for more of a techie or slick thing, but that's how we do it, and it works great. And honestly, one of the reasons we do it that way also is that, like, there's only so much hand holding you can do, and to be able to go through and make it so that when you take this specific link, lesson 3 on this, section 3 on this lesson opens up particularly, like, you can just do that and take a screenshot and save yourself a ton of headache and just say log in and go here. You got to get, you'll have people go. Anyway, it'll help with your consumption. You help people consume the actual data if you do that. If you handhold all of it, it's not going to be awesome. He said, if I'm offering membership access after buying a product, I'm an affiliate for. What is a good way to lock that down like you just showed and make it more automatic sending them the link? I'm not totally sure what you mean. If you're using somebody else's product to unlock membership content, that's a new product. Meaning, in the past, like for Tribe, like when we built for Tribe, I didn't build Tribe's site. Just so you know, I did not build that. But Russell wanted to promote it, right? So all he did is he literally used the stack slide, like I was showing you before, and he went through. I don't remember where it went. Anyway, we used the stack slide, and the tool for that template, right, was the product Tribe. Well, he wanted to come up with some other cool stuff to make a whole bunch of money promoting his product. So all he did is he came up with some bonuses. He came up with some training. He, all the other pieces. It's the same thing for all. It's the same thing over and over, guys. All we did was, after they bought through Russell's link, they just sent an email and we just sent them access. That's it to this. That's it. I think Russell made several $100,000 doing that, which is awesome. So they get the indoctrination email in the actions funnel section. Yes. Yes, they do. Oh, wait. I thought that was part of this. Okay. After people register for a webinar, they're sent confirmation email. These people are added to the contact list in ClickFunnels. What causes these people to add to the webinar? I'm not going to go through that here, Eric. I watched the actual... For 6 hours, I went through and I answered that right here. So I go through and watch that. It'll show you exactly how that happens and how that gets added. We went piece by piece through that. Alrighty. So for the members areas then, let me go back here to this question. Should we include upsells within a membership? Yes, absolutely. Maybe that's time to go through that as well. So there was a button here that I had here for a while that said like, hey, are you all in with ClickFunnels? You know, and it brought you out of the members area and helps you upgrade for the full version of ClickFunnels. And let's see here. How should I? Let me draw it. All right. So let's say that this is all right. Here's the webinar registration page. Here is the webinar thank you page. And let's say that this here is the it's live. But let's say you also wanted to add like an SLO. There's some way, something you wanted to be able to put in there so that you can recoup some ad costs. So let's say it's this other category over here, right? It's another page, and it is this is an SLO, right? It's a $47. It's not that it has to be that, but it's around that range, right? And it's an order form page type, or it could even be an OTO. Yeah, actually it could be. Even if they don't see it immediately, ooh, that's sexy right there. Okay, here's the epiphany I just had, just so you guys know. Okay, let's go to... Okay, I'm going to go to the live webinar funnel again that we built last time. All right, let's say you wanted to add an OTO like I was saying right here. Let's say you want to add this page. You want to be able to recoup ad cost. And after they went through and they registered, they've gone through the thank you page. Let's say they go through and buy, and you still want to be able to recoup some ad cost even after the purchasing is over, right? So you may have another SLO after the webinar registration page like I was talking about last time, right? So that after they register, actually, and they're on the thank you page, right? They go to another page and they can order your $20 thing or whatever it is, and you're just trying to recoup ad cost. This is different. All right, this would be, this is different. So this would be an order form page type right here on this one. All right, and this one over here would be an OTO page type. That's why I put OTO on right there. All right, so this is something you can do in members areas. I'm just clarifying the scenario here. This is the actual members area itself, and I'm gonna build right here what's called a sticky OTO, right there, sticky one-time offer. Now, what this is going to do, so it's a one-time offer, meaning it's only offered inside the members area, but again, it's not something that's out there. So what happens with ClickFunnels, just so you know, the reason this works is that when somebody goes through and they order, they actually put their credit card in and they buy, and it's in this funnel. As long as it's in this funnel, I could add an OTO page to the bottom right here. So let's say they don't even see it. They just go straight from the order page to the order confirmation page. I could add an OTO page here down at the bottom or down here. It doesn't have to be in the funnel even. Probably should be because you want an order confirmation page after it. But it could be an OTO page, so not an order page. They're not entering their credit card in again. Does that make sense? Here, let's actually do this. And this is going to be part of the share funnel that's already linked to the members area, so you can go download this as well. But I want to show you how this works. Sticky OTO. We'll need that, and then we'll also need a order confirmation page. All right, and this is for the members area. So we always laugh when people like sometimes people hit their limit on the amount of funnels they built inside ClickFunnels, and they'll be like, I haven't made any money yet, and we're like, seriously? Like, let's see. All right, so let me go to an OTO. I'm going to go select an OTO page here. The reason I'm saying what I am is because this is one funnel, but there's like 12 things happening in it. Does that make sense? So you should be able to get that done. And just for the sake of us all knowing what is happening, so this is the members. This is the members area OTO, right? Not the OTO, or not the SLO offer happening right here. Look at me. I am technobabble speaking like crazy. I hope you guys are following what I'm talking about right here. So I'm going to go through, though, and I want to be able to build a way from the members area to recoup ad cost from the members area. And so let's go through here. And I do need an order confirmation page. I'll just choose any of them. Alrighty. So I want to be able to send people to this offer after they've already put their credit card in, right? This is only going to people who've bought anyway. And I want to be able to, hey, did you know, right? These are little bonuses, little tiny extra, little tiny thing, whatever it is. These little tiny pieces, little things that that they might need in addition to what you just sold them that is complimentary, right? Not, it doesn't cannibalize the sale, or make them think that they didn't get what they actually thought they were buying anyway. You know what I mean? Be careful how you do it. What you're actually offering shouldn't cannibalize, shouldn't make people think like, hey, I thought I already bought this. Why are you asking for me again? I paid $1,000 for this, and you want another $47 for the actual thing? Like, make sure that it's an actual product that goes well with it, that is not part of the original offer. But this is how it works, though. And I'm going to go do what I do all the time, which might surprise you. I'm going to go to our support, and I'm going to type in sticky OTO. Yeah, this is a great one. How do you sticky one-click upsells in your members areas? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this link, and I need to add a parameter at the end of it. So let's say that I go through, and you're going to do this after you have actually gone through and created, whatever your actual link is. So let's say I'm going to go in. I need to add a domain name to this. I'm not going to do it because these are all live, but I'm going to go add a domain name to this funnel, and I'm going to add a domain name to the webinar funnel, right? So whenever you're done with that section, I'm going to take this link right here, right? I'm going to take the link, and what I'm going to do is let's go into the members area itself that we've been building, okay? And I'm not going to go, it's not a section, it's not a lesson thing, although you could put it in there, I guess, if you wanted to, but I want it to be floating there always. I want it to always be in front of them so that there is an opportunity for me to recoup ad cost for a long time, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a button, and let's put a headline here as well. And the headline is going to say, cool upgrade, whatever the name of whatever you're doing, cool upgrade, whatever the sales copy is. I'm not writing sales copy just for demo purposes. I'm gonna go through here. Cool upgrade, really awesome, super amazing, okay, whatever it is that you're gonna say. But on the button itself, let's go, and I'm gonna drop that same link that I copied over here, right? This is the link to the OTO in the same page that they have already entered their credit card and bought the original product in. That's the key. The OTO has to be in the same funnel, where the order page is that they've already bought something from. This does not work, otherwise. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to add, right on this button, I'm going to add in that link, and we're going to have it open in a new page. Now, right now, all it would do is it would link straight to this page. There'd be, like, what? That makes no sense. So let's go back to the support doc then. The support doc says that whenever I add this parameter at the end of the link, what happens is ClickFunnels does not ever save a credit card. It never saves. It does not know that information. We don't know that information, not at all. The way it works when you actually purchase something in ClickFunnels is whether it's Stripe or Braintree or whatever your payment processor is, a purchase token gets created. This is how credit card processing happens in general on the internet. A credit card processing token, is massive string of numbers gets created. So the actual credit card information isn't stored. The actual, all that stuff is protected. And instead, this incredibly secure, gigantic string of code is created for each individual credit card transaction. Well, that can, when it's in the same purchasing session, be recalled. And so when I go and I add in that parameter that I saved before to the back of this link, what it's going to do, now I click save, what it's going to do is it's going to allow me inside the actual members area. Let's back out here. Now it's going to mess up on me because I have not purchased. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go through and let's actually go check out our members area we've built so far. All right, so here's the members area, right? Got all this cool stuff on here. I removed the parameters. That's why this is showing for me. So I removed them. But let's say someone wants to upgrade. Say, cool, let me download this now. Well, it's going to take me to that page. And if I go through here and I actually click buy, right? It's going to say working. Wait a second. Where's the click? Where, for me, it's not going to work because there's no purchase token associated with my email address. There is no email address. I haven't put anything in there. But it's going through and it's trying to find, if we look up here at the top, it's trying to find the user ID, right? This is the purchasing ID that was created. It's going to spin forever because it won't be able to find it. But all it's going to do is it's going to reopen because it's in the same purchasing session. This funnel is in the same purchasing session. That OTO is, where is it? Right here. Since this OTO is in the same session as when they were buying up here before, they will have to have bought in order to see it. It's going to go and add whatever product I added here before. So I could go in, right? There's no product associated to it either, so it's gonna spin forever till it dies, until I exit. But that's freaking powerful. Do you guys understand what we just did? What that means is I can take that link and 21 days after somebody buys, I can go send them that link in an email, say, hey, and talk about how amazing it is with testimonials, and 5% will go ahead and they'll buy it. Or I could put it inside the members area, or I could put it inside, there's a lot of ways to use this, huge amount of ways to use this. Let's say that someone goes through and they say no to it, they say no to this right here. I could create an awesome rule that says they saw but did not purchase, and it's an email that goes under that category that in 7 days or whatever, hey, did you see this? And it just brings them right back to the same session. There's no credit card stored. It's completely secure, but it's the same purchase session that gets recalled as was before without re-entering their credit card. Now, if the credit card changed, if for some reason it got changed or whatever it is, let's say the credit card number changed or something like that, all that happens is there is a little drop down on the actual OTO page that pops up that has them re-enter their credit card in. Guys, this is freaking massive. Like, I don't know any other place this is huge. This should help you recoup ad costs really, really quickly as well as you do this. So anyway, that's how you do it. That's one of the again, not needed in order to launch. But these are things that extend your profit. This is the things that recoup ad costs, the things that actually increase the percentage points for all that you're creating with. So anyway, does that help? This is amazing. Anyway, Leslie said, our courses are set up to work from one into another by upgrading as you move through the process. Would you recommend a new membership area for each upgrade? No, I would not. Let me show you that. Or just add an additional content using the drip process you talked about when they purchase the next course. So this is what I would do. So let's say, and it's using the exact same process that I just showed you. Let's say that they go through and they click this button right here. They click it and they go through and they buy. Well, you could just go create a section inside of the members area in the back that has this product as the requirement. Does that make sense? So they'll see the title, but that's all they'll see. They won't be able to actually get to it. It'll be completely locked, completely shut down. If they click this button and they go over here and they buy and they upgrade, then that part in the members area gets actually unlocked and they can go through and check it out. Does that make sense? Crazy cool. And that lets you extend the functionality of the members area as well. You don't need to go create them over and over and over again. What's cool is that if you actually do build it all in the same members area, people will see it and it will be top of mind for them. They will know we all want what we can't have. And it's really, really awesome to be able to toss in all these different pieces And so the way I do it, just so you guys know, the way I've done it to you, and the way that right? So we toss bonuses in, all this stuff, but this is the way I do it. We'll see. We'll have the upgrade your fat event thing, but those are things that a lot of people will see. They just can't get to it until they actually go upgrade, and then that stuff can unlock, and they'll go check it out. So very shortly, what I've been building out is a little button that lets you upgrade to the fat event that will upgrade and unlock this content for you automatically, so that you can go, and it will handle upgrades for me, completely automated in the future. Does that make sense? This is crazy awesome. Oh my gosh. How do we give each lesson section a different color? Anyway, before I get into that, are there any other questions about what it takes to upgrade, what it takes to unlock sections and lock them down based on purchases? And does that make sense? So all you're doing is you're just creating products inside ClickFunnels like you normally do, and then you're just going and you're choosing those products as the restricted access requirement for them to actually get through them. And then when you want to, you can put in sticky OTOs, which is what we call those sticky one-time offers, inside the members area and in various places to continue to increase revenue from it. Or say, hey, why don't you in one, that's a great way to ascend people also to your next thing. So in 14 days or whatever it is, this thing pops out. You could, instead of having this over here on the side, you could put it actually in the actual lesson itself and say with the video, hey, I'd love to be able to work with you personally, one-on-one. I would love to be able to help you do X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. Go here. If you just click here, you don't even need to re-enter anything even. You just click here, and it's a paid application. It's only just a couple of bucks. I just want to make sure that you're still serious, and then you can apply to work. You know what I mean? That's how I would do that personally. So let's see. Are there any defined price points from the sticky OTO? It depends on the industry, honestly. I don't. And honestly, somebody said yes to you in the past. It's way easier to get them to buy again. So it's not going to be as, price points aren't going to be as hard of a rule at this point, because we're talking farther down the funnel after they've already purchased. This is cool stuff, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Because once you get this, and don't think you have to have all of these elements and all of these pieces set up. It's not true. You don't. You don't have to have all those things set up. Anyway, you really don't. The way I built it, the way I built the actual the Secrets Masterclass going through, is as you guys were moving through it, when it was like on Module 1, everything below Module 1, the drip that was set here, was set to like 1,000 days, so that it would never unlock ever. It was like 999. Every single lesson. And as I finished things, I would just go back through and just click delete and just update it, and it would make it live for everybody. So I could always be building it out in front of you. It's not that I had to have this big one massive chunk done at one time. So when you're running ask campaigns and you're getting your different pieces together, you literally can just stay ahead of one thing of the curve. But you could have the sections actually created so they can kind of see what's coming up, even though they're not totally done, which is helpful. So anyway, let's see, what other, should we include upsells? Okay, I think those are all the questions from there. Let's see, we've already gone through that. Got 32 of you on here right now. It's awesome, guys. We got Paladin, we made the sticky. All right, we got a ton of questions inside of here. Now, I'm gonna go toss some content in. Let's see, how should I do this next, guys? I'm trying to figure out what area next. So we've gone through the members area. Again, these 2 pages I would put in the actual webinar funnel itself, so that's all together in the same thing. One of the things that I do too is I take this login URL, and the login URL is something that I go copy, because I don't, people will lose their login all the time. I go through up here, and I go to publishing, I select whatever path I want. Inside the settings up here, I've chosen the actual domain that I want. So the membership area login doesn't need to be this ugly thing. It can be something custom, which is great. But what I do though is I take the login, and then I go inside of the, say, get rid of that. All right, so this is the actual webinar page, right? So let's say that I specifically go back to the registration page, and honestly, in almost any of my footers, and I go and I open it up, and I edit them down at the bottom, and see it says members login. I just switch. I always put the members login down in the footer so that people can always find it again, which is super helpful. I'm just by way of support and in my own experience. If you don't do that, that sucks. You'll get a lot of questions, which just makes sense. So. Anyway, let's see. So I need to go through that with you guys. I need to go through how to indent stuff. If you set up members site and want to add a monthly Q&A section, how do you do that? All right, so similar to how we do this in our own thing here. Okay, so for a monthly Q&A or whatever you want, all I did is I created a lesson section, and I just, I mean, this is what we're in right now. I just toss it on there. That's all I do. And then I just record them, and then I just put them on the internet and post them right here. So that's all I do. So it's the exact same things. This is literally built in with the ClickFunnels editor on a page just like normal ClickFunnels. And these are all little HTML indents. But very shortly here, we're going to make an actual audio player element for you, so you don't have to know any kind of stuff to toss in there. So let me show you what it looks like, though, just so you can see it. All right, so Secrets Masterclass FAQ, that's exactly what we were just looking at right here. So the FAQ is right there, is this right here. So let me open up in the editor, and this is what it looks like. It's gonna look ugly. All right, so you got a question about the course, you can use this to, Command F to look through any of the questions. And this is how many times somebody's asked me how the Q&A sections work. This is how many times, well, the documented ones. How many times, where should I start? Do I really have to do something to make $1 million? Why a webinar? Why at $9.97? And I just keep indexing those things so that in the future, you don't have to wait every Friday for me to come talk. Then all I did is I literally went to open up a new page, and I said HTML audio code. Oops. And I opened up W3 Schools, which is a fantastic source for all things code. And this is what I copied right there. And then I just pasted in the actual, let's see, I got rid of that because I'm not using a .ogg, I'm using MP3s. So I deleted that, and then I just pasted in the actual file right there. And I put that inside of, where is it here so you can see it? There it is. So that's how it works. But don't get too fresh. Don't get sidetracked with that stuff. Okay, that's it's not a huge deal. Yeah. Now, real quick, I want to go through this real quick, and then I'm going to take just a quick break, because we've been going for 2 hours already, which is insane to me. Can't believe how fast time goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I want to be able to, let's say that in the future I want to be able to. There's several things I want to show you still. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead. Let's take a break for 5-10 minutes here. Gotta grab some more water, and then I want to show you guys. I always like adding. Let's say I want to talk to the people who've actually created a members login. Sad enough, really only 30% of people are ever actually gonna do anything with your stuff. That's just the way it works. There's 550 what? I think I was just showing it to you. The actual Secrets Masterclass. There's 557 people, actual people who have bought 2 Combo Club coaching. There's only 30 of you on the call right now. 30, that's it. On average, I will get a most of 70 people who are actually still sticking with me, which is true to the numbers. It's 20% that really will do it, and it's a sad reality. I don't totally get it. There's only 448 in the Facebook group, but 550. I mean, so many people, more people bought. They didn't even join. They didn't even do it, and it's a weird thing to experience as the creator, as the entrepreneur, knowing the value you've put into this, for your own thing, and just know that that's how it works. So let's say though that for some reason somebody did not click the actual link in the fulfillment email to set up their members login. Let's say they didn't. Well, I could just go over here and I could click on members, and you can go search for members so they can go load up, and then all you do is you click inside edit. So let's say you go inside their actual profile right here, and then all you do is you click on memberships. Purchases, and you say add product purchase for access. So they're not actually buying it when you do this, but what you're going to do is you're going to click here, and you can go through and find the actual product tied to your members area so that it opens up for them. And then you can go through and click save, and then you'll be able to go through also on the back over here and go click, and you actually can help them change their password or whatever it is as well, so that you can so you'll have those pieces done. So anyway, hey guys, let's take a 5-10 minute break real quick. I am freezing. My hand is completely numb and I need some water. So, and then we will be right back, and I'm going to walk through the actual tabs here with you guys and a few other questions you've been having. All right, guys, give me a few minutes. Bye. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do here is and you can still see my screen and everything, I hope, and ready to rock. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and I'm just going to run through the different tabs here and the ways that I set them up to make sure that everything's tip top and toasty. So I want to be able to add anytime anybody comes through and they come through and they create a login, I want to be able to put them on a different list. Technically, yes, ClickFunnels goes through and it keeps track of the members for you right here, but it's not an easily accessible list for you to be able to go through and actually, let's say, send an email to or something like that. And so whenever somebody comes through and they actually create a login right here, I want to drop them onto a different list and add them to that, so that it's far easier for me to communicate with them. And the benefit of that is obviously for something we just went through, right? If I was going to send them an email about the sticky OTO, if I was going to send them about whatever it is, right here. So let's say there's an email that's super important that I'm going to be sending out soon. Boop boop. Let's add them to a separate list right there. So really, there's not that many lists that run this whole thing that should help you get to the $1 million, right? It's like I said, you got the webinar opt-ins list. You've got the fence sitters list, which is the replay one, that we went through last time. You got the buyers list, and then you've got this one right here for people who actually created the membership login. So the membership login, and then the fifth one, I guess you could say, is the Seinfeld series one. But most of those lists, 3 of those 5, stop getting used basically within a certain period of time. Really, the ongoing ones are the membership one and the Seinfeld one. So anyway, let's go through here real quick and let's add a list inside of ClickFunnels. So I'm going to go up here to Actionetics and add an email list. And we'll add a dummy, call it a demo members list. It's in 2 Comma Club coaching. So now that we got that list created, I am going to create a rule. So this is the membership area that we've been creating right now, right? I'm going to go click in the automation tab right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go click add new action. And I'm going to say add to list. And go select it. All right, now anytime anyone actually creates a login for their membership access, they are going to get added to this list. All right, which is awesome. That's super awesome, because it's going to allow me to do even more things in the future, which is great. Let's say that I go and I know that I've nailed my what and my how, and I've got a webinar that's converting great and it's doing awesome stuff. Let's say that it's now time for me to go create my back end thing, which is higher ticket. Well, it's one thing to email everyone who's bought, but it's another thing to email all the people who are actually active in your community with you. And the way you find those people are typically the ones who actually went through and bought, but then also created a login in the members area. And anyway, not that you wouldn't send to both, but it might be helpful to have that. So anyway, that's something that I would do. Just to toss that in there. All right, so that's the overview section as well. Automation section overview, and then on the publishing one, I would at least change it so that it's not this big, massive, weird string of letters and numbers and stuff like that. This is the path to the actual URL itself. Yeah. All right, and then for the members area, obviously here's the overview itself also, and I really don't do that much in here with these. Not in this one. publishing, same thing. I choose the path. That's about it. The members area is honestly the bulk of it is obviously done in the overview section with the lesson section and or the lesson and the section. Different elements there. So that's the bulk of it. I mean, this is how you set it up. And then once you actually tie together the products themselves with the webinar funnel, I mean, that's kind of it. There's, that's how they get the access to it. So let's dive a little bit more deeply into this page itself now. Let's jump in. And there's a few questions that have been asked as well. And we're going to dive into that. Just to make sure that I'm covering all the bases for you guys, I'm going to go look at the questions here inside the actual Two Comic Club coaching page and make sure that I've got any questions that you've got answered in here as well. So this is the post where questions were being asked about this training here. So and I actually saw a number of questions starting to get tossed in. So let me run through them real quick. Alrighty. So I guess just for the fact that we're moving on here, it says, why are the Q&As restarting again from August, Stephen? It's not really another launch of the program. Anyway, I'm not going to dive. Specifically, I'm going to go through questions that have to do with this here. So, all right. Jerry Lynn asked, what program do you use to upload all the resources for people to download that are not in the videos? Hey, that's actually awesome. This is something that comes with every ClickFunnels account that you probably don't know is in there. If you hover over your account name right here, then you just right mouse click on digital assets. This only is good for 3 meg things and lower, which is fine for most PDFs. It's fine for most little knickknacks and downloads, but we use it like crazy. All you got to do is just click add new asset. Choose whatever file. Let's say it's a Word doc. Let's say something tiny. It's good for small stuff. And you go through and you add in. We use it for anything. Favicon, secret. You see I used it for Module 1 PDF for Secrets Masterclass, whatever it is. And then whenever you got that uploaded, you just click upload. It's really fast. It's hooked up with Amazon AWS servers. Then all you do is you'll come in and see. I'm trying to find the actual one so that you guys can see what I'm talking about right here. All right, $1 Million testimonial script. You guys remember when I put that in? So the $1 Million testimonial script, let's go see that real quick inside of the Secrets Masterclass itself. $1 Million testimonial script, that is a resource, I believe. And then number 6, yeah, testimonial script. All right, I'm going to click on this link and let's look at it real quick. This is S3 content from the Amazon AWS servers. Secrets Masterclass Module 1. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I just downloaded it. $1 Million testimonial script. Right there. How did I get that on there? I think that's what you're asking. How did I actually put that on the internet as a link to do that? So all you're going to do is you're going to come over here to, like I said, the actual digital assets area, upload that file, and then the really easiest thing to do with it is you right click on this download link, click copy link address, and then when you're inside of the actual lesson area, let's say that for some reason you're loading it into this first session or this first lesson right here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and any button, any download, whatever it is, I'll click on it and I just put that URL on it. That's it. And usually I do new tabs so that it keeps their place wherever they are. So it opens up in a new tab when they click on it. That's it. Now if I click save, what's going to happen is it's now hosted on, again, it's only good for up to 3 megs. Otherwise, what I do is I actually use the Facebook. I'm sorry, I just saw Facebook. I actually use Google Drive. I use Google Drive links, and I'll drop that in there as well. So anyway, hopefully it helped there. All right, question for membership funnel. How can you set things up so if a client does not pay their payment, that they automatically get canceled from the membership? Super important for folks on payment plans or monthly membership plans. Let's see here. Let's see what Walter said. Oh, +1 on this. So, quite honestly, like when I'm putting together my own thing, I always I get a support person, and then I get a traffic person, and I'm the marketer slash curator of everything else. And so I don't. There are ways for sure that you can do that. Um, don't get so hung up with the management of this that you forget that the selling is the actual important part. It happens sometimes. Honestly, what we do is once a month we go through and we make sure that the people who are paying are also the ones that are in there. That's what we do. It's manual. I'm sure there's an automatic way, but even us, we don't do that. So that might surprise you. So we just go once a month, go through and we just purge. We just get rid of people. We figure them out. We got, and then real time right now, we've got our billing support. They're rock stars. If somebody cancels or the payment doesn't go through, they get notified and they just take them out of the group. So that's it. I'd like to be able to keep track of. I like to be able to keep track of how much time each member has spent watching certain videos. I'd like to offer a guarantee based on them actually watching the training videos to a certain amount of time. I want them to be able to see their total minutes like it was a score in a game. Will this require coding? Yeah, that will. And is ClickFunnels open enough for me to get that coded? Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you could definitely do that. Like, let's say in the members area. I mean, that's intense. I mean, you gotta have a really awesome reason for that. Like, we don't even do that with our certification programs or anything else. Like, it does track if you've been watching. Maybe that's how you do it. You go look how the certification people did that, and you could totally take that because there are custom HTML elements inside of the members areas. You could go and you could actually just get that code and just drop that in there. And I have seen people pull that kind of thing off before. It's not so, I don't think that matters that much. But yeah, you could totally do that. So obviously you're saying besides having an actual video here that there's a piece of HTML or something like that. So because of this custom JavaScript and HTML element, man, the world is yours with ClickFunnels. It's a big sandbox. You can do whatever you want with it. So yeah, you could totally do that. That's not something I know how to do. I don't think it matters quite that much to figure it out, but for you it might. You know how I do it? My checks and balances system. I give you guys a PDF and have you guys fill it out. And then I say, hey, here's a self-solver challenge. And I know really quickly who actually has been doing it. That's it. So you can get the same thing other ways, I think. Alrighty. I already showed you how to drip the content, so that's awesome. Is there a way to add a button for folks to advance the next lesson if we already have it there and the customer goes through the content faster than others? Is there they could just click on the next lesson. It's kind of like you guys do here. They could go through and let me just click through the next lesson. Yeah, that's totally fine. There's some scripts inside of the CF Pro tools that we just integrated with Funnel University, where at the bottom you can just click a button and it'll scroll through the next lesson right here. You just click on the, you can go forward to backward, from top to bottom, each one of these things as you go, which is kind of cool. It's awesome. Again, I don't think it's needed for a sale, but yeah, absolutely. 3, is there a way to have different access available in one member's site based on, let's say, if someone took an upsell? Absolutely. I think I just showed you that as well, the sticky OTOs and also restricting access. So about membership XYZ and the offer the extra incentives. Absolutely. Right now, when someone takes my upsell, I have to manually add that portion of their membership to their account. My guess is that you probably have not. Man, I sure hate to ditto head here, but yeah, +1 all carries questions. Like to know answers to those. She's on fire. So you're saying when someone takes my upsell, I have to manually add that portion of their membership to their account? Yeah, I think it's just because all I would do is I would build out that that stuff as a section in here. So here's your upsell stuff, whatever that product is, the upsell product. That's the name of the section, but then you just go select the actual upsell, whatever the upsell is. You're gonna go create it, and then have inside the members area a link to go get that OTO. And it could even be a different funnel. It could be honestly a completely different product, but because it's opened based on that purchase inside that your ClickFunnels account, it would still work. So yeah, that's totally possible though. You guys trying to stump me? Let's see. Did this get posted? Yep, it's been in there for a while. Question about membership training this Friday. What time is it? That was in the video. I've already built up my membership site in another funnel. So when you build and release the share membership site you create on Friday, I'm sure I'll want to move what I've built into the new and undoubtedly better one you created. What's the best way to do that? Best way to do that is to have the one you've already done on one side of the page and the one you're building on the other side and literally clone it over. I have done that so many times. The first guy to ever make $1 million in a day, his name was John Reese, and he did it in 18 hours. And no one believed that it could happen, right, in the actual internet marketing world. And when Russell saw him do it, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to do this. I got to figure it out." What's funny is we ended up we actually just bought that company. We just acquired them, and so I took all of their traffic secret stuff and I went and I put it into a different members area none of you have seen yet. But that's how I do it. I literally just on one screen had his stuff, right mouse click, grab the video URL, go and upload it in ClickFunnels one. Boom, 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 side by side by side. Doesn't take that long, but that's how you do it. I didn't see that before, but now that I have, I looked like you were asking about membership site. The question is about moving the pages from one funnel to another within ClickFunnels. Yeah, you could totally do that. If you just go, this is true for any page, anything inside of ClickFunnels. If you just go to, just open it up inside the editor, any page. And you come down here to General. You can click Save Page as Template. So there you go. And this will now be a template if I was to click Save on that. And then when you go and you create any kind of new page, all you got to do is, let's see, so you're going to add a new page. Blah, whatever it is. And I'm going to go through and I would just show only my templates. I'm going to go through. Let's say it was an order form page, only show my templates. Say it's a webinar registration page, like the one I just created, only my templates. Then it'll be right there and you can just click it and it'll automatically upload. So you could do it from one funnel to the other easily by creating a template out of it and just dropping on over. That's the easy way to do it. Alrighty. Cool. Let's go to the next one here. Alrighty. See, my membership hangup usually comes at connecting purchasers to login. Nick in ClickFunnels support just made a great little video detailing all the steps of doing that. Awesome. You may want to check that out. You want me to check that out? I probably taught him how to do it. Yeah. Anyway, I just showed you how to do that. Alrighty, Jim said, question about membership sites. Does ClickFunnels have the functionality to create a membership site similar to Stu McLaren's Tribe training, complete with the check marks to bookmark our progress? There's no check marks currently in there, but we actually talked about that last night. That we'll probably go put that in there soon. So yeah, you could definitely do that. All right, AJ Lewis said, membership site questions. What link do we share with our customers once they've purchased? ClickFunnels will take care of that inside the fulfillment email for you. I just went through that as well. How does restricted access work? Just did that. Let's see here. Not so much a question as to say I'd like to see the proven best practices for Steven / ClickFunnels on how to build one worth paying for and keeping them coming back for more. Okay. Speaking of Tribe, someone just brought it up again. One of the biggest reasons why people get out of your membership sites, one of the reasons people refund after getting into a membership site or they don't ever do anything is because of overwhelm. And so what we teach you to do, what we want everyone to do, is we always create what's called a success path. And that's what this is right here. This very first thing right here is the equivalent of a success path. I want to vamp it up even more, so they take a little quiz and pops out where they should start in the actual Secrets Masterclass. But honestly, it's overkill. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to happen that way. So Russell, this is a video of Russell saying, hey, here's the plan. Here's what's going to happen. And what's cool about that is he lays out, right? And I've laid out several times, and it's the reason why I have these FAQs and how do the Q&A sections work and where should I start? Is I repeatedly, over and over again, that's why we only went one module at a time, because it broke it down in your minds. If I said, hey, ask any question about anything, that makes people freak out. And so as far as best practices go, I wouldn't just open up, I mean, it depends on if you're bringing classes through like a whole time, kind of like I am here. But if you're not, one of the easiest things you can do, like with my dad's webinar funnel and with his actual membership site, the thing that we did is that we just drew a little graph. It's a piece of road. It's literally a timeline that says, hey, when you start out, you're right here. This is the content you need to study. Then you move over to this spot, and if you think you can do this, then this is where you should start, and start with this, and this is the content you should study. And then if you're here and you can do these things, then you're probably right here, and you should study this content. And we create what's called a success path, and it makes it a whole lot easier for the individual coming in, because it's like, this is a buttload of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. How do you actually get through and actually go through and how do you digest this stuff without freaking out? And it's a legitimate question for sure. So as far as getting people to come back, how many times have I gone through, I mean, once a week with you guys, right, doing the Q&A sections and Q&A calls. It's a huge value build for your customer, but it's also a great way to teach people how to consume the product. And so as far as best practices, I would personally, I would put Q&A sections in every single one of your products as a bonus like that. It's, people want that extra handheld experience as well, and it's definitely one of the best practices we use to get people to come back. So Jim said, membership site question, can you show us how to offer badges to members who achieve specific tasks like they do in the ClickFunnels certification program? That'd be great. That is completely hand coded inside of WordPress, and we are talking about doing that right now. Stay tuned. The membership area is going to get even more beefed up and awesome, even more than it currently is. So right now as it stands, like, that's not something that's out of the box available, but that's okay. So anyway, have I answered most questions when it comes to that kind of stuff? Like, I want to get into some more of the, like, kind of the deeper stuff. The thing I'm nervous about doing that is that, know that I just barely learned how to do some of the deep stuff, and the sites were still making millions, right? So when I show you what I'm about to show you, please don't get overwhelmed with it. Please don't think that these are things you have to master or things that you need to get figured out in order to actually be successful with the members area, or that you gotta have it all built out. My biggest fear of this whole time has been my biggest fear with this whole thing has been making sure the exact same thing I was just talking about, that you guys don't get overwhelmed. Anyway, that's fine. Not sure if now's the time, but how do you set up the sales page to send the client to the login page only if they purchase? So I just went through that pretty in depth, so you'll have to probably watch that in the replay, because I just went through that. It's on the fulfillment email, and you can tag that over to them. Tried to send this earlier when there was a relevant question, but kind of off topic now. That's fine. Do you use different domain email addresses for each funnel / non-related product? Or do you use a generic one to build email reputation, whitelisting, etc.? Hey, it's actually a good, yeah, definitely, certainly, a little off topic, but super important. So I'm glad you brought it up, man. So the question is, do you create a new email domain? Meaning, right now, right, at Stephen.L at clickfunnels.com, right? The whatever your actual email address is, the question is, do you create a new email per product, or do you keep them all under the same? If it is relatable, I keep it the same. If it's completely separate, or I want to be able to build IP address reputation with it and whitelisting and all that stuff, then I definitely create a new one. Right now, personally, I have two, because while they, in a way, could be created or could be relatable, the audiences are different. Like if I was to speak to one, like I was to the other, they would get confused. They would make people unsubscribe. They'd be like, I don't want this crap. Even though it's really good stuff, I know that one audience would get fed up with it. And so I created a separate email that I send from. So it's a great question here. So I kind of wish I was in my account, but I'm not. So I could show you more of that. But so I create a separate one. And there's a really, really good process every one of you should go through that will help your SMTP account recognize that it should be whitelisting your email address. If you do it, it will drastically help increase your deliverability to inboxes. When you, number one, whitelist the domain name or whitelist your email address, but then you also whitelist any link that you ever put inside of your emails, and it can be a blanket, kind of a blanket process that's done. So let me just show you real quick what I'm talking about. If you go to support articles, this is really, really easy. I think I've read almost every support article. I've helped contribute to a ton of them, and anyway, it's how I learned it all so fast. But what I would do is, so if you go white list, what is it? It's one of these two. No, it's white labels. This one's the white label. Oops. There we go. Integrate. So if you're using SendGrid, if you're not using SendGrid, a very similar process can happen with any kind of SMTP service that you're using. So let's say that you want to whitelist the domain name or the email address, yourname@yourdomain.com, right? So you go set up and you integrate SendGrid like you normally would. But this is super simple. After you've done that, in the bottom right here, see how it says white labels? Right there. So it says white labels. When you click on that, it will have you add 2 different records. Just follow this article. It'll have you add a few different records to your Cloudflare. And this is, again, far more technical, but super cool. When you do that, it validates your email address for that domain name, and it helps you drastically increase your deliverability. So you do that with, you only have to do it one time. You do it one time to white label the actual email address, and you do it one time to actually white label it blanket white labels any link you put in your emails for the future ever. It's awesome. So anyway, good question though. Definitely good question. Alrighty. Cool. Oops. All right. Can you share a tip on creating favicons? Yeah, actually. There's one other part I was going to jump into with this, and I plan to do so. I will. Don't worry about it. I mean, I am going to teach you guys some of the cool stuff, the extra flair that we put in these things. But when I create favicons, it's pretty simple. Let me come in here real quick and just show you what I'm talking about. So let's say, right here's my sheep logo. So let's say that's the favicon that I want to create. If you don't know what favicon is this little icon right up here in the top left. Let's go tiny. It's not going to matter that much. Cool. And just for the sake of, I want to bedazzle this a little bit for you guys so it's awesome for you. I'm gonna make, let's see, take off the drop shadow. Okay, I'm gonna put in the background that cool like paper thing too. So that's repeated. So it looks like a piece of paper that has all the lesson stuff on it. That'll look kind of neat. Piece of paper, we'll put the drop shadow back on there. Yeah, it's cool. It's congruent, see throughout now. That's awesome. Looks like the other one now. All right, I'm gonna come over here to the metadata, and we're gonna name it the product name. So you just come in to switch out the actual product name again. Product name, members area. Alrighty, we'll go through and show in search engines. The reason I leave it on show on search engines is because if somebody hits this without being logged in, all it will do, let's say somebody shared this screen or shared the URL, it will just send them to the login page. It'll automatically forward over. They won't actually get to actually see it. So let's see here. Alrighty, so favicons though. So let me go grab the URL. Let me show you how I create them. All right, so this image is on the web, right? This sheep image. And I'm gonna go and I gotta take it off of the web. So I just took the URL of that image and I've got it here. I'm really into airsoft, by the way, if you don't know. That's my gun. So it's not just a random guy holding a gun, just so you know. All right, and I use Photoshop, but you can also use Canva, which is a free service. You can use, see, Canva's awesome. There's a whole bunch of them, but I have Photoshop, I use it, and so this is what I'm gonna use here. Alrighty, and wow, I dropped it in super tiny. All right, so it's already a transparent background, but let's make this a favicon out of this. So what I'm gonna do is that first of all, just right off the bat, we're gonna go act like we're gonna export it, and it's perfect square. Now it must be a perfect square. Now I take it and I make it 40 pixels. It's very tiny. Okay, 40 pixels by 40 pixels is a PMG. Transparent on the background. And again, I'm going quick here, guys. I'm so sorry if this is, I'm not trying to get all technical, but I just wanted to show you what I'm talking about here. And then what I do is I'm going to click save, and we're going to say sheep favicon, save it to the desktop. All right, now I don't want to save the actual anymore. Now I'm going to come over here to ClickFunnels, and just like I showed you before, with as far as like documents and stuff like that, you can also do the same with, of course, images. I'm going to make a digital asset out of this image. So I'm going to say sheep favicon, and I'm going to go grab the sheep favicon. Wherever it is, there it is. See, it's all tiny. Now, there's a lot of people tell you that the favicon image size needs to be 32 pixels by 32 pixels, but I like to make it a little bit bigger so it compresses and it makes it a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit nicer. So I'm going to copy the link address to this now that it's actually on the internet, or it's actually a hosted thing on the internet. And I'm going to go to the funnel now, and I'm going to go to settings right here, and it's right here. And this thing called favicon URL, I just paste in the link from the digital assets when I copied it right here. Copied right there. Just all I'm doing is I'm just pasting that in right there. And I gotta click save. And see, I'll do the same thing for the other one that we did as well. I'm not sure where it went. We got so many funnels, so many pages. Alrighty, let's see. Live webinar. Alright, go to settings. So this is the actual webinar funnel itself, right? I'm just going to drop the same one in right there. And we'll save it. Now, what's going to happen is, let me actually preview this page itself. We should have a sheep that pops up there. Boom, there it is. That's all it is. There's not much to it. The simpler, the better when it comes to favicons. Obviously, there's no room for text. It's very, very tiny. Not much room at all. So that's how I do my favicons. Usually, I'll take the logo and some aspect that I can make a perfect square out of it. So it's 40 by 40 PNG. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be, but that's how I do it. That's my method. So it's a great question, though, man. Alrighty, let's dive into a little bit more of the actual, more of the nitty-gritties, I should say, with this and how it actually comes together. All right, so we are inside the actual funnel itself now, or the actual page itself, right? Now, notice that I am not in this part right here. Right. What I want to do is I want to start customizing the actual, the layout of this. How do I create these indents, right? How do I create these indents? How do I highlight certain of these the same color? I wanted there to be congruency as you guys went through this, so you knew that the resources was always blue, right? It's always this blue color. I wanted to know that pretty much, I think every time, maybe except for this first one here, the FAQs is always red. right? And if these two have to do with funnel hacking 101, how do I indent them to make you realize that this is part of the same one? So I'm going to show you some stuff here real quick, okay? But it's like a lot of code, all right? So don't get freaked out by it. Again, I'm not a coder, so know that you can do this also. I'm going to toss these things in for you as well, and you'll have to play with them. But just know, again, that this is like your own discretion. I'm not support. I won't be able to help you with your current one. This is it's not like, I'm not saying like use at your own risk, but I'm just telling you that this is not out-of-the-box ClickFunnels. This is stuff that our own support doesn't support because it's not stuff that we have in it. So this is just me extending the functionality of ClickFunnels. But it looks awesome. So, yeah. All right, so first question here. All right, and if you've never... This is like... I'm trying to figure out how to do this without getting like into deep code stuff, and it's not deep. It's just that if you've never seen code ever, then it will seem deep, but it's not hard code. I learned how to CSS off of a YouTube video, like, okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a few more lesson sections just so we have them to work with. And I'm going to create one more section here as well. What's cool is, guys, when I'm creating this, I did not go through the Secrets Masterclass and recreate every single page, okay? If you're trying to go and like, look at this. I usually have this blue bar with this black thing. Like, if I did that for every single page, that would take forever. And so I didn't. What I did is I just created this one. This was my template, right? This is my template. And then what I did is I went through, and when I got my first template, how I wanted it, right? I built it all out. Made it awesome. I made the tops and the bottoms cool. I went and, let's say I'm adding this paper thing back in again, and let's say that there's let's see, the top full, I don't know, full border, whatever it is that you're doing. All I did is I clicked save. I was like, hey, this same layout, I kind of want to keep the same flavor throughout the whole thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the clone button. And then what I'm going to do is, you know what? It doesn't go there, so I'm just going to click Edit, and I'm going to go over to this last section here that I just made up, and I'm just going to drop it in there, and boom, there you go, just popped right in. Does that make sense? Way easier than actually going through and recreating. Then I just went through and I just switched out the headline and the video, and so the major work was already done. And when there's a little bit of customizing here and there, that way, anytime there's not just this massive, effort to recreate stuff over and over and over again, that would be awful. That'd be really not a fun thing to have to go through. And so I'll go through and we'll have this last one here, and this one will have be a whole bunch of numbers. I'm just changing up so visually you guys can see what I'm doing and why it's different. So like on those resources pages, you guys know that's the reason why. For some reason, for some of you guys, and even for me, it's cached hard on a few that this lesson 6 resources page right here, it still says module 1 down there in the bottom left corner, module 1.pdf. Well, it's because this section here is a clone from the module 1 resources page. I didn't remake it. I just came and switched out content. I gotta go reset my cache. I haven't cleared cache on my computer, so that's why it still says module 1. It's the right one. But that's the reason it does it. But it's so much faster to make it that way. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna spend like a month, or you can. I would have, spent at least 2 or 3 more, the amount of time actually putting it together. So anyway, that's just a little building tip because that would take forever. Yeah, exactly. Clone button. Exactly. All about the clone button. All right, so let's go through, and I'm gonna start doing indents. Okay, and I'm going to show you I'm going to give you a few different pieces of code here that are just going to come inside of your members area when you actually when I actually put the share link up there. And what's cool about that is it will pull those pieces of code in for you. And there's one piece of code that's going to be really cool for, and there's a few of them that it's going to be really crappy for. So I want to show you how to be able to do it as well. Understand, again, like massive disclaimer with this. If it's going to be a headache, just delete it. It doesn't matter if it's not indented sometimes. Sometimes we just overthink it, and we think things will affect sales, and they don't. And so, yeah, there was some lady came and she messaged Russell and I, and she's like, I want you to know, I think it's amazing what you've done with such ugly funnels. And we're like, what? She's talking about the Expert Secrets book funnel. That's a gorgeous funnel. Like, we're not trying to make pieces of art here. We're trying to sell things, you know? There are some things that we just don't need in order to actually be successful with building these things. So I'm saying the same thing to you. Please understand that design doesn't sell. Now, it can help you create some branding. It can help you have the user can have a good experience. But man, Frank Kern even has got his funnels is a white page. It has a headline, a video, and a button, and he has made millions. So understand that what I'm showing you right here, these are style designs. These are things that don't totally matter, which is the reason why sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if I want to totally answer that. And it's not that I don't care about your question. It's that I just don't want to get sidetracked with what I'm about to show you here. So that is a gigantic hunk of salt with that. So anyway, so I'm going to show you though. So this is how you do it. So I'm going to open up the editor. All right, and we're going to edit the actual page here. I got two of them open. So I'm going to back this one out so I don't save over top of myself. All right. So just reload it real quick. All right. Now, what I'm going to show you real quick is how to indent these lesson sections. All right. How do I indent this? Because since there's so much content, I didn't want each one of these to be its own section. I want it to be under the same section, but still look like it was part of the... So anyways, that's how we pulled it off. And I learned how to do it when I needed it. I didn't... Anyway. Alrighty, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of right here, inside the tracking codes. Now, I'm going to do a lot of work right here inside of the footer custom tracking code. All right, now I have a huge... I've been doing this for a long time. I have a huge slew of swipe files. Just swipe files both for headlines and images and copy and a whole bunch of stuff, but then also code. Because I'm not a coder. So I'll see some code, someone drop some code out there, and I'll be like, shoot! That was freaking cool, and I'll find the code and I'll toss it in Trello, and so I got a big board of it. So anyways, let's see. Can you guys still hear me? Boom. Thanks guys, appreciate that. Sorry I've been monologuing for a little while. All right, so this is the code I have on how to indent member area lessons. All right. Any Brunsonisms to drop on a bonus. Yeah, seriously. Let's see here. When I realized that I'd be sitting next to Russell and they said they'd pay me to do it, I was like, I'm going to just write down all the sweet lessons he gives me. Now, I have not done that, but I've written a ton of them that are just super important and powerful. This one's fantastic. I think I shared this one with you last time, but I'm not sure. Someone was interviewing him and they said, how do you honestly... it goes in and out. Hey, I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully the recording's okay. And he said, hey, how do you actually get to 7 figures? I mean, that's crazy. And he's like, okay, honestly, here it is. Going from 6 to 7 figures a year does not require more hours in the day. It doesn't. Now, we work hard, right? I was here till midnight with Russell last night. I mean, way past then, several of the nights this week. We work hard because we like it. It's fun. There's so much stuff happening. There are not many companies in the history of the world ever that have tripled every year for 3 years in a row without VC funding. Like, that's insane. And we know that we're a unicorn and we're just trying to seize the day. You know what I mean? So we work hard. But it doesn't take more hours in the day for you personally to go from 6 to 7 figures a year. All right. So anyways, I had a big discussion with him about this afterward. I was like, do you realize what you said? Like, that's really powerful. And so I wrote it down. But he says, it's just a shift in thinking. Rather than focusing on selling one person at a time, you shift to focusing on selling lots of people at once, etc. It's not about hours; it's about leverage. Okay, it's the same thing. That's I know that some of you guys have battled some of the things that I've taught you inside of the Secrets Masterclass. You know, especially in the Q&As. You know, like, well, do I really need to do this? Do I really do this? The answer is like yes. Like it's. I know that the spot. Again, you know the content. Do you not? If you bought the book Expert Secrets and you read it, you had the content. If you bought the book .com Secrets, you had the content. What you are really fighting, the belief pattern that I'm trying to break and rebuild inside your head, and that I've been trying to do for the last 2 months, is the fact that it actually is possible. You just have to launch it. You just have to take ridiculous action. Don't get sidetracked with learning so much stuff anymore. It's just these 5 or 6 things. You do them over and over again. you will make $1 million. And you know, it takes time. You got to figure out the what and the how. And it's all about iteration, back and forth and back and forth. And a lot of people, I know a lot of you guys have already had that mentality, which is great. But I've also, it's easy for me to see, just because I've been doing it for a while, those of you who are still fighting that mentality and having a hard time rebuilding your own belief pattern and letting your belief pattern being rebuilt. So anyway, there you go. There you go, Edward. There's the Brunsonism for right now. Anyway, we'll go back to indenting. All right, let's go grab this. This is the piece of code, okay? So what I want to do is let me open up the actual members area that we've built so far, right? This is it. So this is the members area. And let's say that I want to, on the second session here, or the second area right here, I really need to be able to indent, let's say, these 2 testimonial things, right? When I upgrade to coaching, these 2 testimonial lessons, I need to have them being indented. All right, so what I'm going to do is I took that piece of code and I'm pasting it in, and I'm going to go and I'm sorry, it's not there. It's in the CSS section. I was like, that isn't right. CSS is what makes pages look good on the internet. So anyway, so this is it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and this is set up really simply so that you can do this over and over and over again. Okay, this is really, really important to pay attention to what I'm going to show you right here. Okay, and I'm going to show you what this is doing. All right, so section 1, section 2, 3, 4. So I want to go to section 2. So this first part here is section 2, and I want to indent lesson 2. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to indent lesson 2. That's it. Now I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to come over here, and I also want to do the third one, right? Because there are testimonial sections on both of those. Now this right here, this is all CSS, just so you know. This is calling out that specific section, right? Now this is calling out the section ID and the lesson inside of it, okay? And this, what this is saying right here, 2EM, that is a length measurement. So we're gonna indent it. You can think, I don't know what you're gonna compare it to. Let's say it means like a centimeter. It doesn't, but let's just say that it equals that, okay? So I'm gonna do 2, I'm gonna create padding on the left side, which makes it indent to the right, 2 EMs. And the word important right here is not there to just say, hey, this is important. That literally tells any existing CSS that's in there that it's no longer important, that this is the code it should pay attention to now. So let me go ahead and click save. I hope I'm not losing you guys. Let me know you're still alive, okay? All right, I'm gonna click save. And all good, cool. I'm running my computer pretty hard right now. It's recording. It's recording on several ways. So come on, save. All right. Now let me come over here and I'm going to reload the page. We've had tech guys here fixing internets like crazy. It's been nuts. Okay, got it. So, all right, so still here, head spinning a bit, but it's all good. That's good, no worries. All right, so, oh, that messed with my Z-score. All right, I don't want to get into Z-scores. Okay, all right, it hit this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in, and just for the sake of the piece of code, I'm going to make sure that does not overlap anymore. So we'll come up and I'm going to make that 10, and that 10 there. And we're going to bring this down. Cool. All right. And that's being saved, put together. So while it's doing that, so what it did, right, it indented. It indented, which is awesome. So it brought those 2 together. So let's say though that now I need to indent for some reason this third one down here. All right. Well, what would we do? We'd just come back inside here the code here, right? So section 1, 2, 3. So it's 3-3. That's the one we got to go place in here. So let's come inside here back to our custom CSS, and I'm going to come in and Copy, paste. I'm just going to go 3-3. That's it. All right, and I'm going to click save. We've been launching a whole bunch. We've been fixing just tons of stuff inside of ClickFunnels, and we have the whole dev team that's here, and they've been relaunching and pushing a whole bunch of stuff out. So the service is a little bit slow right now. So my apologies on the wait. All right, but let's say though that now if you look at what I did in Secrets Masterclass, this color is actually not the same as this color. The sub is a little bit lighter than the one on the top. All right, so I made this just a little bit darker on each of the texts because I wanted to make it pop. I wanted to make it stand out just a little bit. Now, the reason I tell you to do this with a lot of caution is for, let me show you a live example right now. Right, I had to go and I had to add a new section. I had to put something in here for you guys. When I did it, I forgot to update the pieces of code. It's extremely tedious. I'll show you the code, but I didn't update it correctly. So you see that the color is darker there, but the ones underneath are a little bit lighter, but the indent died. I have to go hand code that whole thing. It sucks. So that's the reason I'm telling you, like, so take what I'm saying. This is like advanced class now, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and see it pop now. It's below that fold there at the Z score. So it looks like it didn't save there, but I'll go ahead and do that. Now let's say though that I also want to be able to have these sections auto open, that I don't want all of these closed when the page actually loads. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go back to my swipe stuff here, and here's the auto load on page open script. There's no way. There's one I know that's better than that one. Let me find. Boom, there it is. Okay, way cleaner code, much cleaner code. All right, I'm gonna come in here, and this, because it's a script, actually goes inside of the tracking codes. It's not CSS code, that's what's called JavaScript. So that goes in the footer. So now when I actually save this thing and it goes and deploys out, again, server's a little slow right now, a lot of updates, so I'm sorry. We'll see if it's actually updated yet. It's not, that's okay. Shout out. Okay, there we go, got it. It's catching up now, cool. Alrighty, see now it updated and everything was auto opened when the page opened on load. So on page load, all this stuff is open. The benefit of that, okay, there is no reason in displaying everything that you have all at once. There's no shame in displaying everything you have all at once. Meaning, if it makes it feel a little bit bigger, like if the content's fantastic, you know it's worth $1,000. You know it's worth more than 1,000. You need to give it to for just $1,000. There's anyway, it can help with customer satisfaction emotionally if they can see all of it at once, to see all the things that get laid out, right? So anyways. Okay, so Ian said, is it the IDs that you have to recode, i.e. 5-5? Yeah, exactly. So it just sucks because I have to go back through and redo it. And let me show you what it looks like on the actual Secrets Masterclass. It's huge. It's freaking massive. Look at this. It is so big. Because I have color spans in there too to make it darker. It's gigantic. I mean, it took so long. So yeah, it does suck. It's huge, right? That's the part I'm trying to tell you guys, is that, like, don't get distracted with this. If you think if you're not gonna upkeep it, don't do it, because it's gonna help. You know, I don't want you to get distracted. The most important thing is that you're selling, right? We already sold, so I want to just make it extra cool, so that's why I did it. You know, so I got to go fix those pieces, and I will, which is awesome. 800 lines, yeah, exactly. So, and I know it's not done. There's more I got to go do with it to make it awesome. So it's not a problem. What's nice though is that most of the members areas for $1,000 that you guys will be selling will be like just the size of module 1, and that's fine. And so it's really not that much for you guys, which is fine. We just have an abnormally gigantic, larger than the sun members area. So This is the biggest product we've ever put together. Russell repeatedly has told us this is the best product he's ever put together besides ClickFunnels itself. So it is anyway, which is awesome. Is this what you guys did with the funnel immersion members area? Yeah, that's what I did. Man, he called me. He sent me a Vox at like 3 a.m. and he's like, dude, we got to get this whole thing built. I'm so excited to launch it. But you got to have it done by like 2 p.m. And so I built that out that day. That was really fast. Where did you paste the code for the auto open? Okay, let me go show you guys that real quick. All right, so for the auto open, all right, so remember I'm in the editor, and when it has to do with how a page looks, right, that's called CSS. And that's where this is the indenting, and that's where I'll also put the colors that I'll show you here in just a second, okay? But when it has to do with how a page functions, that's called JavaScript. All right, so I'm gonna go through here, and we keep those in what's called the tracking code section. This is where the auto open and auto close things. Now, lucky for you guys, like this will come with the share funnel. That's a piece of the page now. So it's actually getting pushed into the page itself, and so you don't need to worry about that. That'll already be in there for you. Let's see. Do you have an opinion on delivering all the content within the 30-day refund window? I know that some groups wait on the bonuses, especially for people who try to get the course for free during the 30-day window. Yeah, no, we do. It's actually the reason that the masterclass is 6 weeks. It's because at 4 weeks, you need to have a reason for them to continue on and not have gotten everything yet. That's literally the reason why it's 6 weeks. If it's longer than that, like 8 weeks, like that's starting to push it a little bit. That's a long time, and you can drip it out once per. What's kind of cool is that the drip sequences, these are all evergreen. So for each individual person, this is how it behaves. So for some of it, you might unlock like the first module for that week. In fact, most of them that I actually see, a lot of them are set up that way, where module number 1, comes out immediately. The module number 2 comes out in 7 days. Module number 3, 21 days, or 14. Then 21, and that a lot of them set up that way. But it is the exact reason for that. You got to be able to give them a reason to stay and stick around. Now, that depends on the guarantee that you give. I know, like Dan Henry and several others, if you come in and he can tell that you just came in and stole all the stuff, he won't give you your money back. He's like, I don't care. Go. What are you gonna do? Go fight me about it. Like, you're just trying to steal from me. And he's a little bit more. That's his personality, though. I'm not that way so much. So, and neither is Russell. So, and actually, most of the industry isn't. So, in order to protect ourselves from getting stolen from and refunded all the time, we will put things in there to do that. So, yeah, absolutely, I would drip out. A lot of stuff. There has to be. The problem is that there are some people who are your hypers, and they don't want to get held behind. They don't want to wait. They don't want to have that, and so it can become a little bit problematic. And so you could release half of it up front, then the other half, what I mean. That's totally your call, but I totally get it though. Will we get these codings? Yeah, absolutely. You will get. This is all part of the actual members area. Leslie said, I've seen them list the content for the reference, but the links don't work yet to see it. Yeah, exactly. And you can definitely do that as well. And that's how you do it, is that if you put a drip system on these, the actual name shows up. It's just they can't open it. They can't click it. It's not even there. And so it's kind of cool is that there will be other things, other bonuses. You can make the name of it really appealing, make it really sexy, something they want to stick around for past the refund period, so that it unlocks for them, So anyway, absolutely. Cool. All right, should we jump back into this here real quick? Okay. So that's how you do the indenting. Let's see. Let's do colors. Okay. Same thing. Understand that I repeatedly in my life for the last several years have tried to become the best funnel builder in the world. Am I? Of course not. But I've tried really hard. It's gotten me a lot of great places. So what I'm about to show you is because of the peak that I have tried to climb. Okay? So if you're not trying to climb this peak, like, don't worry about it that much. Like, does that color really need to be that much darker for you to make $1 million? Of course not. So I'm going to go in right here, though, and I need to find out what this where this code lies in this page. So I'm going to right mouse click. I want to make this darker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inspect the page. I want to see what code makes up this page. This is generic on every single browser. You guys can do this on anything. Now this code sits right here on this page. This all the code that makes up this page. So if I inspect on it, it'll highlight and show it to me. If I right mouse click on this, if I right mouse click on it and copy what's called the selector, it now means that I can toggle this text. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to go into settings and I'm going to go to custom CSS because I'm toggling the look of the page, and I'm going to paste the selector that I just copied. Now we are literally messing with the look and the feel of that text. I'm going to open bracket, close bracket, and I'm going to put a color in there. All right. And I'm going to have it be red just for the sake of this. Okay, so let me click save. Come on, servers. I'm so sorry, that's so embarrassing. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up. Boom, there it is, it's red. Does that make sense? Get any ahas? What questions do you have? All right, so the way I did it with the Secrets Masterclass is I went inside the actual page right here, and I wanted this color to be this color also. So all I did is I went in and I grabbed my my color picker, and I was like, I'm gonna have it be this color. And you'll see where I did it inside of the Secrets Masterclass. If I go to custom CSS here, see, like here's the navigation. Oh wait, that's not it. That's something else I'll show you. But it's the same exact colors I just copied right now to my clipboard, right? Same exact color. That's me highlighting every single one of those certain members area tabs and pieces right here. Excuse me. Boom, 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 boom. That's what those all are. And I just right mouse click it, went and I grabbed the actual selector on there, copied the selector, pasted it into CSS, and then dropped it in with the actual name of the color. So that's it. So because you are using a selector, does that mean that positioning doesn't matter in the CSS? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I can paste it. Like it doesn't really matter where. I mean, I could take this. It's still CSS. It's not has nothing with page functionality, so I could put it right there and it would still work out just fine. Let's see, Eaton, you said, and if that's the case, is there a way to use the same selector tag and then using some kind of indenting code? That way you don't have to update everything. I'm sure there is. I'm not enough of a coder to know how to do that stuff. What I just showed you, with a few of the things, I can read code. I just don't know how to write it. And when I say I can read it, meaning I can understand most JavaScript and CSS and the large majority of HTML. Like that's the front end developer code that's like so not that crazy hard to understand if you just spend like a day trying to understand it. All the stuff that the actual developer teams coming here, those are the guys who actually are intense that know this stuff. So that's the extent that I know with it. So I'm sure there's a way to do what you just said, but I don't know how. Anyway, so yeah, when you go load up, so the way you would use this, to just kind of bring this full circle, the way you would use this is just go load up all your content, and then all you got to do is you just have to come, if you want to do that kind of stuff, it'll all be right here, and you can just go indent, right? You just count 1, 2, 3, and you just put in 3-3 in that piece of code I just showed you, and it'll indent whatever you want. But then let's say you want this to actually be highlighted too, and you just go indent those subheadings that you have. Just right mouse click and grab the selector, and all I'm doing is I'm just telling the page, hey, don't pay attention to what ClickFunnels just told you to do. Instead, listen to what I'm telling you to do, you know. And you just paste it in there. Open bracket, close bracket. Put color, dash, and or colon and whatever. So it could be any color. So let's put this color in. That's it. It'll be orange now in just a second. All right, and there's one other piece of code I'll show you as well that's kind of nice. And you don't have to do a dang thing. It'll be there for you. See how it's orange now? What's kind of creepy is you can do this on Google Pages. So you can, oops. So if you can go search for anything, and if I wanted to, I could come here and change the actual color live on this page for this thing. It's already claimed from the server, so it's not going to do it for anybody else, but you can freak other people out if they don't know that. So, which is kind of funny. You can make text massive or whatever. Anyway, all right, so what I want to show you real quick is, let's say you have tons of content in there, and you really, you don't, let's say, it's all the way down here at the bottom, you got lots of stuff and I'm way down. I don't want to click here and have to scroll all the way up. So I set this thing here with a click and it scrolls all the way up to the top for me, right? So let me put that piece of code in for you as well. If you don't want it, it's no harm, no foul. You can either take it out, or if you don't have that much content, like as far as lesson section volume goes, that's fine too. It just, you won't use it. All right. I use this one a lot also. Let's see. That's a good one. Sorry, I gotta find it here. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. It was called auto scroll. Well, I know where it is in the other one, so let me just pull from the other one and just give it to you. All right, so let me go grab it right here. All right, so this is what this is. This is a piece of code that says, hey, whenever someone clicks on a link, auto scroll to the top of the page and do it in 500 milliseconds. So if I want to take more time for it to scroll, I could just put to 1,000. That's, or whatever. I don't want it to be that long though, so I don't do that. But this is a little piece of code that you can put in. It'll just have you auto scroll up to the tops, which is really kind of neat. So that's in there for you now also. All right, now let's say I've got all my content in here now, right? But there's some bonuses, and I don't want my bonuses to be the exact same color as the rest of it, right? Similar to what I did here. I didn't want you guys to mentally get mixed up with thinking that this was also the masterclass. It's not. Those are all bonuses. So how did I do this? Well, it's literally the exact same thing that I was just showing you before. I'm going to right mouse click. I'm going to grab the the selector, and I'm just going to change the background color. That's all. So you can see where I did that before in the sections. So I'm going to come. See, it says membership nav. I feel like I've killed you guys. I've heard from you way less in this one than I did in the webinar funnel build. Okay, so how you guys doing out there? You okay? We all sticking together, all right? All right, let me come in here. I'm gonna grab Still Alive. All right, it's a good movie. So I'm gonna grab this, and we're mesmerized. Water. That's funny, man. Water. Let's see. Anyway. So let's come inside here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few sections here. Let's call this the bonus section. And, we'll, there's nothing else in there just for our purposes. And so I'm going to go and just drop this lesson inside the bonus section, just so something's in there. So now that something is in there, what I'm going to do is, love how you're teaching us how to fish, not just feeding us. That's good. That's what I'm trying to do. I just don't want to overwhelm you or think that you got to be a master at this stuff in order to make money. It's not true at all. Trayvana said, doing well. I already started my membership site, so I'm just taking it all in. That's good. That's good. That helps me a lot, guys. There's, 27 of you guys on right now, which is awesome. Really glad this is helping too. I hope this is also demystifying some of membership sites. There's some confusion. I don't know if there's confusion or what it was around them, but they're would like take out the coding crap, take out all of this stuff, and you just do the basics. It's gonna work great. All right. So let me come in here, and what I'm gonna do is let's reload the page because now we got a new section in there called bonus, right? And I want to go here and I'm gonna right mouse click, and I'm going to grab, and I'm gonna inspect, and I'm gonna go grab the sometimes you don't grab the right selector, so you have to try it a few times, but let me grab the selector here. All right, and nth child, let's see, background. Cool, that's right. I think I have to put it in his background color. Background dash color is, let's say, black, just for the sake of this. We'll hit save. I don't know why it keeps, it's like I have to plus it twice. That's so annoying. Okay. Then we'll come in here, and I'm going to, see, it didn't work that time. It takes, sometimes it takes a few rounds in order to get it to work for any coder. Let's see here. What's the full div tag? Let's try it again here with this one. Just try color now, see if that works. Alrighty. Big money, don't make me look dumb. Dang it. Well, I'll go figure that out and I'll put it in there for you. But that's how I did it. With the Secrets Masterclass one over here, it was, it's this one right here. Let's go grab it from the bottom. Oh, it's because I don't have the important thing on there. So it's still the same, like I'm doing it correctly, but what ends up happening is when you're doing this, what ends up happening is, right, ClickFunnels is insane. It's just a big mess of code that gets toggled on and off based on what you're doing over on the side. So if you're adding a button, it's toggling on a button in that area. You know, if you're, it's pretty awesome. It's completely genius. Like everyone keeps trying to knock us off. There's always these people that launch the ClickFunnels killer. It's the ClickFunnels killer. I'm gonna put them out of business with this, but no one can replicate it. It's pretty genius the way it happens. But so anyways, what ends up happening is, since I've not told it, hey, this is important, it's clashing with the code that already exists, and the ClickFunnels code is winning. And so since I'm not putting important in on it, it's not actually working. So I just took it from the other page, and I'm grabbing right here. I'm just gonna modify it. So this is from the other members area. And I'm going to change the color right here to black. You can either type color names or you can actually put in, there you go. Child 27, so we're going to put 9 in. Does this make you guys want to kill yourself or learn code? Which to some people is the same thing. All right, let me go ahead here and very demystifying. I'm much less overwhelmed than when you started. I think I can really do this. Yeah, you can totally do this. Just understand that if you can't get a color, to switch, like you shouldn't stop the process of you just doing it. How to create a video that the viewer cannot pause, fast forward, or rewind. Oh wait, how do you create a video? Dude, that's a great question. All right, I'll show you that too. All right, you want to learn the code. Makes you want to hire someone who understands code. Yeah, that's what it makes me want to do too. I don't want to understand more than I know right now. Like what I know now is perfect. Whenever something pops up or Russell's like, oh, I can't figure this out, just a little CSS knowledge has helped me a lot in my funnel building career. It's still not pulling it. But anyway, I don't want to keep toggling that while I'm there, but just know that that's how you do it. Oh, you know what? I gotta try it. It's gonna kill me if I don't get this for you guys live. I feel like I'll be discredited. Just kidding. All right. Membership areas cache pretty hard as well, meaning they get saved. Pages don't always load immediately straight from the server. Different parts of the servers around the world save that page. So when people say, oh, clear your cache, what they're really saying is, tell your computer to pull it straight from the server, because it keeps pulling it from the wrong place, which is why you're getting it wrong. So sometimes I don't, like, the hard part is you're not sure sometimes. You have to open up incognito, see if it's actually doing it. Oh, see, look, now it's making me go through it because it's incognito. Anyway, hey, I'm not going to keep going on that. What I am going to do, though, is what you just asked for. Great question here. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's say that I'm inside my membership access page here. And I'm going to go inside here, and there's a video, and I need them to watch the video. I don't want them to be able to pause. I don't want them to be able to fast forward. I don't want them to listen. Okay, does that make sense? What I'm going to do is, you can do this any place also that you need a video. So instead of this button here, instead of this image here, I instead am going to create a video. And it's going to say, hey, welcome, you're awesome, glad you're here, you know, create your membership login and all this stuff. But I don't want them to be able to pause it. I don't want them to be able to fast forward. I want them to see this. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to make sure the video is auto-played. So let's go grab a video from YouTube real quick here. And I'm going to go in and, will I share this template? Yeah, 100%. Like, this is the one I'm going to share. You guys are getting the exact product that I'm sharing with you as well. So I'm going to go inside here and let's grab, we've been into motivational videos lately, so let's grab oh, this guy's ad kills me. Anyway, I'm going to grab the actual YouTube link right here. It has to be autoplayed. It must be autoplayed. I'm going to turn the controls off, and branding on means it has very subtle branding, which is awesome. Jean Versailles, he said, I know, but when? As soon as the replay is done rendering. We've been going for 3.5 hours here. So last time the rendering took as long as it took to actually do the video. So as soon as I have it ready, I have no reason to withhold it. So I'll let you guys know as soon as it's up. Let's see. So now I've saved it, which is awesome. So if I go and I preview this login page, oh, it's logging me in because I got to watch it incognito. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to preview it, right? And it should play this video, right? And which is awesome. It's working greatly. It's perfect. It's motivational. It's super cool. The problem is I can pause it. And the bigger problem is that I can click. YouTube, by their rules, makes it so that I have to have this thing on there so I can click and go watch it in YouTube. And I'm like, crap, I don't want that. I want them to stay on my page, right? And so one of the things you can do, and this is something we just barely started doing, one of the things you can do is you could make this video basically have the equivalent of a film over top of it, a transparent film over top of it. And again, I'm not smart enough to figure that out, but I know a lot of people who are, so we figured it out. So instead, and I wonder if you saw it, the video's not clickable thing. That's how you saw it. So I'm going to take this little piece of JavaScript here, and I'm going to go inside the page right here, and I'm going to go to my tracking code and drop this little piece of code in. Now, this will be on the page for you when I share this funnel for you guys as well, so you can see it. So number one, what this is doing is it's saying, hey, any element with the title, the data title, CF-video-blocker, make it so that the iframe is blocked, right? Make it so you can't see it. So what we need to do, the second part, is I need to go through and I have to go and name the video element in CSS that thing. Now it sounds hard, but luckily ClickFunnels, again, makes it very easy. All I'm gonna do is click right here, and you can name elements really easily. And all I did is I copied and I pasted the CF video blocker, and I can click update. Now when I click save, as long as the video is auto played, because otherwise they won't be able to play it, what I'm going to do is open this thing up in incognito, and the video is going to play. Let's turn it down as loud. The video is going to play, but now I can't click on the thing. There's a film over top of it. It's blocked. There's a blocker over top of it. So that's super cool, right? It makes it so that if there's a sales video, if you could do this for any funnel on any video anywhere, this is really cool. I'm sure it'll be a function that we actually officially put into the editor sometime in the future, but for now, that's how you do that. So anyway, that's how you do it, man. God bless you, Stephen. Patience is a virtue. Your epic builds are legends. So many thanks. Hey, I'm glad you like it, man. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing this. Alrighty, so we've answered the question, how do we make custom indents? And again, keep that really simple in your head. It's not something that needs to be crazy or is crazy. All it is inside the custom CSS. You're just counting. That's it. All right, I want section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Let's indent this one. 1, 2, 2-1, 2, 3, 4, 2-4. So all I'm gonna go in and do is I don't need to rewrite this code. Coders are the biggest plagiarizers ever. Why would you rewrite it if it's already there? I'm gonna go paste it, and I'm right here on the ID. That's all I care about. I'm gonna go 2-4, click save, and I'm gonna go over here and reload the page. Now it's indented. All right, changing the color of these, very easy. Sometimes changing the color of these are not that easy, but honestly, I think support should be able to help you with that. They originally are the ones that helped me with that. So I'm learned a lot right along with you guys. It's not that I know all this stuff. It's that I'm trying to figure out what's directly in front of me. So anyway, yeah, we've also figured out how to create sticky OTOs, how the content works, how to lock it, how to introduce the content to people who actually bought it, how to lock it for people who didn't. And I guess I just would love to know what other questions you guys have. We've built a lot of stuff. We've put a whole bunch of stuff together. Sticky OTOs, the masterclass, the emails that go out. You could very well add people who actually sign up and get it. You could very well add them to an action funnel and do a ton more stuff with them inside of Actionetics, which is awesome. What other questions do you guys have? Love to know those. Let's go ahead and type them in now if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I don't want to override that. Let me get out of that. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. All right, how do you assign the membership site to your own URL? Now that is far less of a membership site question. First you load the URL into your ClickFunnels account. If you don't know how to do that, there's a ton of ways to do it. But all you would do is you'd click over here on custom domains in your account settings, and then you'll come over, click add new domain, and there's two different ways you can do it. And we're actually making this even far more simple than it already is now. So use an existing domain. You can do an automated setup, which is awesome, or manual. This didn't exist before I was here, so I learned how to do it the manual way. But anyway, all you'll do is you'll load up a URL, then you'll choose the root page for those URLs. If you don't know how that works, that is a heavily known thing with our support, how to actually fix that and do that. So. Then all you do is on the actual page itself, right, in the members area, in settings, or if you need the members area to be a different URL, do not build the members area pages in the same funnel as your other one. Does that make sense? So right here, we got the webinar share funnel. If you need, for some reason, I don't know why you would, it's just you're selling the same product with the webinar, but you can assign one URL per funnel now. All right, just one URL per funnel. So I'm going to come in here inside of settings, and I can come in here and choose from one of our domains here. There are tons of domains, that's basically it. So if I needed the actual root domain to be different, don't put it inside the same funnel here. You would keep it in a separate funnel like this, so that you can come into settings and choose your own domain for that funnel. Does that make sense? Awesome. Awesome. What's the difference or benefit of a sticky OTO on the bottom of a page versus a stagnant offer for an upsell, cross-sell? I'm not sure I understand the question. Let's see. What's the difference or benefit of a sticky OTO on the bottom of a page versus a stagnant offer for an upsell, cross-sell? Are you talking about? I mean, you talk about this obviously. The benefit of having this here is simply that it's always going to be there. If it's the thing that you're trying to get them to ascend to, you could just, you could delete this and make this as part of one of the lessons. I don't think that's really what you're asking, and I apologize. I'm not quite sure what the question is. I can't, you have to give me an example or something. All right, quiz functionality. Part of my market will need proof that they have been successful or completed tasks. Great question. So one of the things you can do is the same thing that I do with the Secrets Masterclass. The reason the Secret Masterclass exists is because we created the FAT event first. And we created the FAT event, but when we made it, the first group that came through was Inner Circle people, and they were great. The issue we were having is that there was so much base level stuff that we were covering at the FAT event that we couldn't get to all the cool stuff that you guys will get to now because you already have this stuff in your head. And so it's not that we were ever really planning to make the Secrets Masterclass. It's that we made it out of a necessity to fill a gap, a void with the understanding and where people are with their content. And so I needed people to be self-solvers. Honestly, I needed people to be able to go say, hey, and self-choose, hey, look, I've done X, Y, and Z. That's the reason the PDFs are there. So if you really need them to take a quiz, though, you can put a quiz inside of it. One of the things that I've done many times is you can embed a type form directly onto the page. That's what is all down here. All right, the membership sites. So you can. But it doesn't have to be a button. You can actually put the actual thing on there so they stay on the same page. It doesn't need to be a button that takes them somewhere else. If you're trying to have them fill out forms for applications, you could embed it straight on here with the custom JavaScript and HTML element. You could have, so if you're trying to get them to upgrade or trying to get them to apply for higher ticket coaching or with things like that, that is all stuff that can be done directly into the page. The membership sites it's the exact same thing as any other page in ClickFunnels. It's just it has these rules with lessons and sections on the left that populate content on the right. But it's the exact same as everything else as well besides that. So anyway, hopefully that helps. As far as proof of tasks being submitted, again, there's going to be more in-depth things and functionalities that ClickFunnels is going to have out of the box with that very shortly as well, which is cool. It's actually been a heavy topic of discussion over the last week for us, so that should anyway, you guys are going to love that. Let me know any other questions you might have as well. I think anyway, I'm trying to figure out what else I could do with this. It's crazy cool. That's how we do it. There's some other design things you can do that are awesome. There's other things you can do to make it look super sweet. The actual Expert Secrets members area, like the book member area. The book members area, that one I put together, same color scheme, but that one has got a lot of cool, crazy, awesome stuff behind it. Anyway, that doesn't matter that much. Walt, you said off topic and maybe for another time, I'm curious why you use Trello the way you do. Why not put all the code snippets, etc. in something like Evernote or Microsoft OneNote? Why is Trello your weapon of choice? Trello is all of our weapons of choice. We use it for everything. We've got all of our products there, everything that we're doing, all the stuff that we do. It's all there. The reason is because we have rules with this is not how we use it. This is a dumping place for me to put stuff. Usually we put, it's very, very different usually. It's more like this. No, not even like that. It's more like, no, not like that either. Where's one of the project workflow? I can't show you some of this stuff, so, anyway, as far as project management goes, what it usually is on this first column is all the stuff that hasn't started that So we say not started, that's this column. In progress is this column, and completed is this column. And so if I needed to create a new task, what I would do is I would say, hey, so-and-so, here's a task that I need done, right? But we have rules that we follow in this office around it. I can only assign one person to that card at a time. So whoever owns that card, they are responsible for that task. The other thing we do is we'll go through and we'll say, hey, here's a due date, so that it starts to pop up in that person's feed. So if I was to go, right, and look at my cards and order, we always order them by upcoming date, this task would pop up next. So if I go and let's say there's a checklist of stuff that I know that person needs to get done with that task, and say, hey, here's task number 1, right, number 2, number 3, number 4. What I can do is I can tag people in these and say, hey, look, with the @ symbol, I can tag, since no one else is on this board, you can't see it, but I can tag specific people on it and say, hey, I need you to do this. And what's cool is like with collaborate, I do this with a guy that I have in Australia. He's the man, and we have several Trello boards together, and we can project manage stuff together. And I know exactly what he's expecting me to get done, and he knows what I'm expecting him to get done, because we use these checklists, and whatever this is, whenever we start using it, then we'll go to the in progress section, and whenever it's done, we move over to completed. That's how we project manage. Anyway. That's how we use Trello. We actually had several Trello experts come in and for 2 days teach our entire team that kind of strategy, which is what I just showed you. There's a lot more to it, but that runs ClickFunnels. So, yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. I understand the benefit of an offer on the membership site. I don't understand the benefit of it being sticky. Sticky is just the name of it, meaning meaning it's always going to be there. You don't have to have it be there though. I mean, you could seriously have it be so that if somebody didn't buy, let's say we're over here inside of the webinar funnel right here, and let's say you've got this OTO page, right? And it's actually in between these pages, right? So they get the first order, the first offer, then there's an actual OTO, then there's a confirmation page. Well, instead of having it be this arbitrary thing out on the side, that was only in certain scenarios, you could have it be part of an actual small little funnel right here inside of your webinar funnel, but then put a rule on it, which is, we've totally done this, which is awesome. Under the automation tab for that sticky OTO, you could make a new email. And you could have it go to people who saw it but didn't purchase, and I want it to go out 21 days later, or 21 days later. And the subject is, hey, have you seen this yet? Right? And then all I do is I put that sticky OTO link inside the email after I talk about it, and all it does is it populates them and shoots them back over here to right here, and we'll continue to unlock the same stuff inside the membership area. And so it's based on product, not on the placement of the actual OTO page. So as far as the restrictions go. So anyway, yeah, that's why we do it that way. So you use Scrum as a project management? I've never heard of Scrum. Is there? Oh, there is a new software replacing Trello, the way ClickFunnels replaces lead pages in Infusionsoft. It's amazing. Cool. Yeah, I know there's a ton. It's just the one that we use. There's new software coming out all the time, so that's the one we use all the time. So anyway, so if there are any other questions about membership areas, though, that would be awesome. What I'm going to do is shortly here, I go and what happens is I export this thing, which takes hours, and then I upload it and edit it to edit out any breaks, like that break, and then I also edit out I don't know, I clean it up, I make it look better and then I have to render the video and then import it. It will take some time, not as long as the 6-hour funnel build, but it literally took 6 to 7 hours for me to do that last time with the actual webinar funnel build. So as soon as I have it, you guys will too. And I also am recording the actual screen, what I'm seeing, which is including all of your chat. So you don't need to feel like you got to go download the chat, try and share it. I don't know if people did that last time. It's already on here. It's part of the screen recording. So you guys all have that as well. So you said, are there any member maintenance or management tips? That's actually fantastic. Great you brought that up, man. What we do, like I said, is I'll go into Stripe, which is the payment processor we use. They love us. They integrate really well. We hardly have any problems with them ever. But we'll integrate with Stripe. And what we do is we'll pull up Stripe. And all we'll do is if we're on a monthly recurring program, we'll pull up just the people who took the monthly payment plan option. And we'll go through those people and we'll just walk through side by side and see like, hey, is this person still paying? Oh, who's not paying still? That's the easiest way to do it. Who's not paying still? And then we just go through and look at those people. And if they're not paying, reach out to them real fast. Otherwise, we kick them out. And then same thing with the Facebook group itself. With the Facebook group, this is a new episode that got released. Oh, sweet. Anyway, with the actual Facebook group itself, it's very similar. All we do is there are tons of people who beg to join this group all the time, just so you guys know. Last week, you got up to 100 people who were asking to join. Almost everyone wants to be a part of the group, but we're not like actively selling it that much right now. Because we're finishing another funnel with it. So anyway, we'll go through and we'll clean these up at the same time. Anyways, it's not a fun task. It's not a task that I enjoy doing. So what I do is, what you guys can do is just have somebody go through it and look through all the records. Hey, for this person, and just go through the people who bought. I would use Stripe because they're going to reflect people who are charging back or who are trying to refund or trying to whatever it is. And then you just have your Facebook closed group up, and then you have your membership site and ClickFunnels up, and you just look through your problem children, and if you need to, you kill their access to it. And in order to do that, it's actually pretty simple. All you do is you come inside. Let's see, where's a good spot to show you? Let me back out of this. I don't think I need this anymore. All you do is you come inside the Secrets Masterclass. So I can just show you. It's actual members area. All you would need to do is you click edit, or you can trash can right there. Actually, I'd click edit. And I would go inside of, I'm putting this right here. In the recording, there's a box over top just so you don't see what this person's actually bought. And where it says purchases or memberships, you go in and you can actually delete the membership right here. Same with the reset password. You can reset the password for them if they reach out and they're like, hey, I just can't understand how to get into my account. You can reset the password for them right there so they can go in and start using it again. So anyway, great question though. I'm seeing some great questions pop in. Some of them are not totally related though. So if you get the questions that are starting to pop up now, I'm going to go ahead and close it. But go ahead and ask them if you can inside of the Facebook group, and I'd love to get to those as well, because some of those can definitely be a beast. So anyways, guys, that is it. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys all next Friday.